Excuse me. Let's do a mic check. Let me just make sure you guys are here. I'm going to share this to make sure that it's going back over to the people that need to get it. All right, can we do a check? I'm not sure what happened, Donnie. Are we back on Facebook? Everybody from YouTube hollered at me and said that we fell off. Let me just make sure we're good. Let me play a little bit of something and get us back up and going. Let me see something here. Stephen Speed says, I'm here. Are we back? Let me know. I'm gonna play a little something until we get people back on. Okay, I don't want to sit here and talk or do nothing. Let me get something going for you guys.
Cause it's early in the morning, and she's on the line. I'ma take my time, do it how we want. Just to set the mood, girl, I brought some modern day and Chardonnay. Early in the morning, yeah, when she's all alone, I'ma take my time, do it how we want. Just to set the mood, girl, I brought some modern day and Chardonnay. So just let the song play, the long way, the strong way. It's all day, it's always. This was all inspired by a little Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. Early in the morning, yeah, when she's all alone, I'ma take my time, do it how we want. Just to set the mood, girl, I brought some modern day and Chardonnay. So just let the song play, the long way, the strong way. It's all day, it's always. This was all inspired by a little Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. Early in the morning, yeah, when she's all alone, I'ma take my time, do it how we want. Just to set the mood, girl, I brought some modern day and Chardonnay. So just let the song play, the long way, the strong way. It's all day, this was all inspired by Little Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay.
Mic check. Are we still here? I'm sorry, yo. I don't know what's going on with the system. People are starting to come back in, it looks like, but I don't know what happened. I don't know if maybe we did a video that Facebook didn't agree with, but it seems to have been a Facebook breakdown. Everybody, I'm just going over my other stuff. Everything else seems to be intact. All the other platforms. I don't know what's going on. We had a crash on Facebook, and for some odd reason, I'm not able to get a lot of stuff that I normally get right now. So maybe it's the system. Maybe it's the system. I don't know. Let's just keep going. How about that? And if people decide they want to come back, they can come back. But for me right now, let me just make sure I got everything here. It's just funny. Call me what you want to call me. But it seems to me, and I know this is going to sound a little cynical. It's going to sound a little bad, but I've been here 5.5 years. And it seems like whenever I'm sending a certain message, or whenever I'm able to provide receipts for some messages that I've been saying about the community and how accountability, some may not agree with this because it hasn't happened all the time. But when I'm sitting on here acting goofy, when I'm doing something that has no meaning whatsoever, and I try not to be that guy, I try to have meaning and purpose towards everything, and everything that we do here, I try to make it have some type of meaning, some purpose. So this might not be fair to say, but every time I bring something that's real, it seems like I have some type of technical difficulty. And I'm not saying that it's done on purpose. Maybe it's just me being so anxious. You know, like sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. And I'm talking about as an individual, including myself. I can be my own worst enemy. Sometimes I could get in a space in my mind and my assumptions become my reality. You feel what I'm saying to you? Like you think the worst thing in the world. If anything happens to me today in my all white outfit, damn it, it's because they hating on me. You know, that type of zone in your mind, you tend to be your worst enemy. I'm wearing my nice all white. If somebody scuffed my shoe, they did it because they hate the fact that I got the new Stacey Adams on, and nobody gives a shit. We all look good. We all got on white. We all representing something powerful today and all that. But in our minds, seems like everything is against us. So you got this thing stuck in your mind that if something happens, it was meant to happen to you because somebody's hating on you or something. I hate being in that space, and I don't want to come across like that. But it seems like this video that I was showing, I don't know if maybe it got flagged. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I did something way out of bounds. Maybe I did something that I was not supposed to do, and I don't realize it. You see what I'm saying? I don't realize what I did. So I'm going to take the blame, but I'm just going to say after 5.5 years of being here, I see somewhat of a consistent, it doesn't mess up. It doesn't mess up when I'm doing some goofy shit. It don't even mess up like that when I'm playing music that's not even monetized. You feel what I'm saying? It only messes up when I can confirm some of the things that I've always been saying. I'll play the clip again, Donna, because we didn't get through it. She said I missed the clip. And that might be what shut us down. Maybe I was playing too much of the clip. I don't know. But it's basically some street dudes, and I mean real dudes. This ain't some shit that city council went out and stuck the, no farm, no organization put this shit together. These are just some people that just say, hey, we about to interview the West Side. And they ran into some West Side dudes, them real dudes. Them ain't no actors, and these are real dudes. And it's like, every time I think every time I'm saying some real shit, like one time I went to court. I'm just being honest. couple years ago. What was that? It was a couple years ago. I went to court and I took my camera with me, my video camera, for the show. I've been in the courtrooms for 20 years. The one time I cut my camera on to put you in the life of me, I wasn't shooting victims. I wasn't shooting, and when I mean shooting, I'm talking about I wasn't videotaping victims of crime, perpetrators of crime. I was videotaping me. I was videotaping myself, my briefcase. I didn't really show in my file cap, my file. I didn't do that. But I get called to the front of the courtroom as if I'm in some type of trouble by the judge's bailiff. But the judge did it. Y'all remember that? Anybody remember that shit? See, I have a memory of an elephant when it comes down to things like this. I get called, and I can tell you, it was Judge Greenberg, who I'm cool with. Judge Greenberg would have never did this shit out of his own blue. And the person who called and told on me, I know who you are. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to wait for the right moment, because that's how I am. I'm going to wait for the right moment, because you're going to say something bad one day, or you're going to put me out there some kind of way because you can't stand what I'm doing. And then I'm going to go off. It's that spilled Kool-Aid. It's the drink you drunk the last Kool-Aid. I'm going to go off on them. I'm sorry. That's just me. My return serve is a lot. If you hit the ball back, if you serve the ball at 100 miles an hour at me, I'm bringing it back at you 110. I'm returning the serve. Donna, you remember that? I was in court and court stops. I'm sitting in the back. I don't even have a client. My client's not there yet. I'm sitting in the back of the courtroom, and Judge Greenberg, who I really care, he's a good dude. He stops court because his bailiff reaches over and says something to him. And all of a sudden he says, Randall Wyatt, please come to the front of the courtroom. Come up front. Some shit he said. So I get up and I go to the front. I'm minding my own business. Wyatt Live family is with me that day. I'm showing you what I do on the day-to-day. This is my life. And they put me on blast in front of the courtroom and tell me, you're on Facebook right now. You shouldn't have your camera on. And this is the prosecutor. The prosecutor. I am not a criminal. You don't have a case number on me, sir. You can't speak on anything I'm doing right now unless I'm breaking a court rule and videotaping victims of crime or criminals with a court case themselves. Other than that, Mr. Prosecutor, you can't tell me anything. I'm not under your jurisdiction. I haven't done anything for you to be able to oversee my behavior or what I'm doing. My actions are way away from your scope. What are you talking about? And come to find out, somebody that y'all all loved and called, not the judge, called the judge's bailiff who's sitting right next to him, call the judge bailiff and say, Randall Wyatt got his camera on in the courtroom. Y'all need to address that. I got a call saying that. Twin says your phone not allowed in the courtroom. You're not allowed to talk on your phone in the courtroom. I wasn't talking on my phone in the courtroom. First of all, the camera was on me. The camera was on my paperwork. The camera I was recording and doing what I was doing had everything to do with me. It wasn't showing the courtroom. It was somebody was watching me and saying, hey, he's in courtroom, whatever. And y'all need to address him for that. These are the same folks that had a problem with me saying things like, when are y'all all going to get together and start working on trying to get some of this 10% criminality out of the community? Y'all got to understand, it's not the whole Cincinnati. See, I don't even want you to, there's a group of people that want you to think that everybody think that all black people are bad. Not everybody think that. Not all white people, Asian people. not all people outside of black people think that all black people are bad. But for some odd reason, there's a group of us that look like us that want you to believe that everybody is against us and everybody and it be us that be making them phone calls and running the bus on each other. And the reason why is because if you stop their money, they have no other position in life. They can't pimp the city for no money. Trust what I'm saying to you. There's a group of people that want to be, they are professional fucking victims. And if we don't have a group of kids running around here acting stupid, they ain't got no income. If we don't have a group of people running around here doing Millville shootings, then they don't have anywhere to go with their programs. They ain't got nothing to talk about. If we fix all of that, they are irrelevant. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Call me and tell me I'm wrong. That's why you got a Chicago mayor talking about ain't nothing wrong here in Chicago. So the fuck what? We lead the city in the United States in murders. Don't believe what you see. These people aren't really dying. They're just acting dead. We don't need no damn help from the government to fix this problem of crime. Now, black folks should be real offended by that because those are young black men. Those are young black people. The majority, 90% of the people that are dying in these situations are us. And then guess what happens to that small percentage, that small 10 percentile? Those are the revolving door of people who are going back and forth to jail for those same murders. Did y'all see what happened in Cincinnati? Let me see if I did I burn it? Did I burn it? Yeah, here it is right here. Arrest made in a woman's 2021 murder near Cincinnati Park. This is 4 years ago. They just now catching this dude that murdered that girl 4 years ago. How many more murders have he been involved in 4 years? You think these type of people shooting and killing once? There's a group of people that want you to believe that everybody against us. You got a mayor that's sitting back saying, we don't want the National Guard to come in and stop all this killing of us. We don't want the National Guard here because they're going to take over. Take over what? Did they take over D.C.? Or we don't want tanks and all that old shit rolling down our streets. You'd rather have drive-bys. You'd rather have cars that have shotguns and M16s hanging out of them. They both doing the same thing. They both shooting and killing people, right? No, the tank is not shooting and killing people. The tank is about order. It's amazing. I mean, if you don't see it, here's the thing. If you don't really see the game now, you're never going to get it. It is so crystal clear what's going on now, and people are being called on their bullshit so easily right now because it's very obvious. If you can convince people right now that the National Guard is put in place to take over a city from hardworking individuals, and they're there to take over a city and make it just, they're disrespecting, they throwing grandmamas in cars, they just acting stupid, they dragging, they're illegally arresting people. If you that damn fragile in the mind to believe that's what's really going on, you'll never understand in real life. You are way gone. You're way gone. They have captured your mind beyond fixing. You'll never be fixed. Sorry. You're probably a little upset that you came back to this one. Let me go to the phone lines real fast. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Praise the Lord. Hello, Mr. Wyatt. Cincinnati King calling out of Avondale, Ohio.
CK, what's good with you, brother? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. I was listening to your platform, and I'm loving what I'm hearing, man. Good pieces, good thought. I just wanted to call you about Young Thug running his mouth, biting the cheese. Young Thug, the rapper. Yes,
Okay.
he's been caught on film. These idiots, like I told you, the penitentiary, all of them ain't nothing. The criminals, the drug dealers, they all snitching. So when you inform these young people, let them know if you are involved in the drug narcotics business, you're in a snitch game. So
Yeah.
don't cry to me about snitches, sir. This is the game you chose, brother.
Well, there's rules. I ain't gonna lie. I don't
The
condone it.
rules is don't partake in illicit illegal activity. That's the rule, buddy.
No.
Period.
No.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. They
Ain't no rules to the game. I keep telling you this. The streets ain't no rules.
There are rules. There's just I
Oh
just
my
don't.
God.
No. Listen to what I'm saying to you, brother. I'm not Look, I think I disagree with you. I know what you're saying. I just disagree that there's no rules. I say that there are rules. It's just you have people that don't follow those rules. Look.
The weak ones follow. The weak people follow rules.
No. Let me just ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. If you and I go in business in an illegal business together, whatever it is, that it could be narcotics, it could be thieving, bank robbing, whatever. If we get into an organized crime thing together and we have a pact, the rule is if I get caught, I won't tell on you. If you get caught, you won't tell on me. That's what
Where
we
the hell the
created.
rule at? Where is it at? Where you just making up shit now? Don't run that on me. But you ain't just show me in the handbook where it say that. Show me in the handbook where it say that. You just made some shit up somebody told you.
Right.
Now you're dealing with a professional.
Right.
You're dealing with a professional.
All rules are made up by someone. What are you talking about?
But
All rules are put in place by somebody.
There is no rule.
Yes, it is.
If you're an attorney,
wait a minute.
There's rules you have to go by.
But wait a minute.
If you're a criminal, there is no rules. You decide. You chose crime because you don't choose rules.
There are rules.
Understand this.
There are rules. But let me just say this. There's no honor amongst thieves either, is there?
No.
So it's kind of hard to say that rules don't exist when they're in place because they don't get followed. But you're looking at a group of people. There's people in the joint right now sitting there wondering why the hell they didn't tell, why they didn't snitch. Because why didn't they snitch, CK? Because they followed the game's rules.
They follow a fake rule.
You can call it fake all you want.
If it was smart, no, the rule of criminality is anything goes. The first rule of being a criminal is it ain't no rule. You gonna kill everybody. Remember,
Jericho,
some people have
hold on. Jericho, we're gonna get back on pace. I'm just gonna destroy this man's mythology.
Okay, let me explain this.
Go ahead.
If I'm a criminal, right?
Yes.
So when I rob your house and I'm going for the stash. Now, morally, I might have a fiber where I say, well, I don't want to kill no women and no children, right? But that's going to limit my criminality. So if I have any kind of moral clause in my criminality, I might as well don't be a criminal. I might as well put that to use and go to college. So if you got moral clauses, what you're saying, you shouldn't be in the criminal business, sir.
No,
so I'm right. You're losing.
That's if you say so. All I'm saying to you, and I love you, CK. I just don't believe in that philosophy.
Love your family and everything.
I want you to understand something. There are people that don't follow rules in things that are legal, right? Like you have doctors that break rules, you have attorneys that break rules, and I mean, does that make them? That makes them that makes them immoral, right? Like they're not following the rules, but that don't mean the rules
makes them criminal because
it all depends on what the rule is.
Tampering with the tampering with the patients while they're under anesthesia.
Because I don't want to get confused. I don't want to get confused. So I just want to tell you the difference between a snitch and somebody that I feel is not a snitch. If you and I get in business together and it's illegal business, right? We have a pact. We have a rule amongst us. If I get caught, I won't snitch on you. If you get caught, you won't snitch on me. Okay, if I snitch on you, I broke a rule. We had a pact, right? Is that not a pact? Is that not a rule that we created?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So who has to create the rule that you're calling a made-up rule? What makes it made up and then what makes it real in your mind?
Sir, my opinion on that deal that we made was this fool Wyatt really thought I would honor a deal, and I'm a criminal and an illegal.
Okay.
Like he's a fool.
Fine.
So I'm conning you. Now
Fine.
I'm conning you.
That goes to the rule of no honor amongst thieves.
Right. So why would you
But
make a deal
if the rules were not being followed by some people, there would not be people in the penitentiary that didn't snitch. There's people sitting in the penitentiary right now that believes in the rule of non-snitching. So it's not a made up thing. It's a rule that some honor and some don't honor. So it's a real thing. Here's the difference between me being a snitch and somebody I'm not in the game. You can't sell drugs on my block, on my corner of where my home is. I call the police. If I call the police, I'm not snitching on them. I'm not in the game. I didn't make no pact with y'all saying I ain't gonna tell on you. I'm not in the game. So I can call, make a report. I just told. That ain't snitching. Snitching is when I call on you, or I get caught up in a case and I call up your business to the police, and you and we're part of an organization and we said we won't tell on each other. But I'm gonna snitch to save my ass. That's snitching.
But I really got to give you some game right here. Okay. That's hypothetical, right? I'm a runner for you, right? You're legitimate, but you got a illegal black market on the low, right? And I'm a part of that, right?
Okay.
Now, this is the problem with your thesis. You don't know, as far as making the deal, why I don't like making those deals, you don't know how honorable I am until I get jammed up. You see, until I'm jammed up, then you can see, okay, CK solid. He not going to talk. But until I get jammed, see, we don't never know how it goes until one of us get caught up. That's the problem with them deals. I got to be able to test your real word, your trust. So when you say you're not going to tell on me, that got to be tested. I need you to be arrested or me to be arrested. So
you think, and I hate to do this to y'all, fam, but when I get a dude that come in here with that street shit and they think I don't know nothing about that street shit, I got to kind of.
Oh, no, I know. I can hear it in your voice.
Hold on. So I'm going to say this to you, bro. Because I want to explain to the people why I'm going to this extent. You're basically saying that snitching, telling on somebody is the only way that you can be a two-faced, dirty individual in a group of something. So if you just said, in order to know if this person is loyal, they got to be put in a position to snitch or not to snitch. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, there's no way for you to know that I would serve 10 years for you unless I serve 10 years.
Yes, it is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, it is. First of all, you should know this. I know some of my dudes know this on the platform. First of all, you can always tell a dirty motherfucker by the position they take with you on if you get set up or not. Most dudes that get robbed by their own people.
Right. Okay. They know the inside. So
now we're not at a position of what you're talking about, and that is, in order to see if this person is loyal, they got to be in a position of if they're gonna snitch or not. No, there's ways of figuring out if people on your team really with you or not. It's a lot of different ways, bro. And when you sit back and say, well, they got to be in the damn lieutenant, they got to be in an investigation room, and they got to be in a room and being interrogated by police if they're going to tell on you or not. That's the only position. No, there's a whole lot of other ways you can find. Just how they move around your woman, how they move around your shit that you have, how they want to be around you at certain times. You can always tell somebody that's not really about your best interest. You can tell. I'm sorry, I'm not a street dude. I just know a lot about the shit.
Mm-hmm. Look where you from, though. You should know. Well, where you from? You can't take that from me.
I'm just telling you
you can't take that from you, bro.
But all I'm gonna say to you is this: snitching is a real rule in the game. Now, a lot of people don't follow it, but that don't mean it don't exist. It don't mean that it's not really a thing. And my receipt to that is there's guys in the penitentiary doing 5, doing 10, doing 15 and 20 years because they didn't tell on somebody.
Oh, and let me tell you this.
And they think that's living through the code.
Okay, so let's listen to the brain. You need to put this in your brain. I was a victim of violence, right? Stabbed in my neck on Halloween about 6 years ago, right?
Okay.
So when I'm in UC hospital, getting investigated, I ain't giving up nothing. I ain't giving up no names. So, right, I'm sticking to what you say, the code.
Okay.
But I don't think I'm not going by. I'm not letting them know because it's my best interest not to put the assailant out there. Because if I incriminate the assailant, I'm also incriminating myself. What did you do to get stabbed?
Right.
See?
That's totally
See?
different.
There it is.
That's different though. Because you were
But that is not a code. So but I'm saying that's how snitching really go.
No, it's just you not snitching because you were saving your ass. That's all. You back in the equation all over again. If you could have snitched on them, okay. If you could have snitched on them, CK, you would have. You already made this clear in this whole conversation.
I said it's not in my best interest. But
so
no, I'm not.
Just you saying that, bro. I don't think you hear yourself. Best interest is the bad thing you can say to somebody. You can't say that to somebody and not understand that this person gonna do whatever they got to do to save their ass. What's best interest for me is snitch language. That's all it is. So look, that's why I'm not in that game and I ain't even worried about all that shit, bro. I'm just helping you out. You're right. I would never commit a crime with you, CK, because I obviously know you'll snitch.
No.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
Hold on, listen what you're saying. Hold on, listen. You don't have to speak for people. You can ask. That's the problem with Cincinnati. Y'all think y'all know. No, ask. I just told you it's out. If that was the case, I would have. And I'm saying a lot of times, no, I'm not the type to do that. I can handle my stuff myself. So
CK,
yeah, that's a whole different situation than what we're talking about.
Help me out. You just said that you got stabbed in the neck.
Yep.
And that you didn't tell on this person because of what? Because it would have incriminated you.
It wouldn't be in my, because remember, that's who I am. I don't represent, I'm not they did that. That's not who I am.
No.
Some people are. But I'm saying, yes, I'm indoctrinated and don't tell. I am indoctrinated in that, but I don't agree with it. So I would not, in my situation,
bro, you sound
disclose
crazy
that information. But I think in certain situations, yes.
No, the only reason why you didn't
hold
tell.
on, listen.
You just
don't
said
try to
it.
isolate me. Don't try to isolate me because you part of this too. Because in certain situations, you would rat too. So stop acting like you would.
Listen, bro. I believe in code. That's why I'm not in the game. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But you would still break the code under certain circumstances. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
It all depends. I'm not sitting here defending the code, bro. I'm saying that it actually exists. You said it don't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think it's an illegal code like code, like police.
Listen, bro. Here's the bot. Okay, whatever. All I'm saying to you is this: the code exists. A lot of people don't live by that code, but it is there. So we both can. It's two things that can be true at the same time. My point is the code does exist. You're saying that it's a made up thing and it doesn't exist. And I'm telling you that it does. How I know that is because there are people in the penitentiary that live by that code that if they would have told, they would have done half the time or they may not even be there at all. Do you understand? So the code
I
exists.
understand clearly. And what you don't understand about those people are those the people you need to stop trusting.
Okay, CK, but you can't keep changing shit up. Okay, so let's get to a common ground. Is there a such thing as a code of non-snitching?
Yes.
Then everything, okay, I'm gonna leave it right there, folks. I ain't gonna stretch it no further than that.
Only thing I was saying the whole time was there is a code, but I think it's an invisible code. It's like the American Constitution. Yeah, they got a constitution, but you see, when it comes down to us, we gonna get the bad end of the stick. We're not gonna get treated equal. You can't deny that. Don't tell me when we go to the courtroom, they gonna treat me like they treat they people. That's what you gotta understand.
That's what I gotta understand out of all the shit you just
gotta
said.
Understand. No, it is. If you certain situations, switch up.
Okay.
But
all right,
we got it though, man. Hey, man.
CK,
I'm praying for the family.
CK, I got a question for you. I don't want to get long into it. I just got a question because we're in September now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got my boy Bud Crawford versus Canelo on the 13th of this month. Who you got? Just give me a name.
Oh, that's tough, man. You're making me cry, man, when I get off the phone with you. Pray for the family, but I'm gonna tell you this name. I really want Crawford to win. But if I had to bet 5 years in the penitentiary, I would bet Canelo. My heart says Crawford, my brain says Canelo. That's how we're gonna end it, bro.
Ill as shit. if you had to bet 5 years in the penitentiary, I'm not putting 5 years. Are you serious, bro? Stop.
That's the only way.
Capping,
Hold on. Why? That's the only way I can get a true, honest answer out of you. You're not going to tell me the truth. You're going to get me political. But if you bet 5 years of your freedom, you're going to tell me exactly who you think going to win. Got him.
First of all, I'm not betting my freedom on nobody. All right. I get in the ring. If it came down to my freedom, I'd have to fight them myself. Either one of them. Now, I probably can't beat either of them, okay? I know I can't, but I'm only going to control my destiny in my own hand. I would never put my life in Bud's hand. I would never put my life in Canelo's hand. But that shit you just said was real wild. I ain't going to lie to you.
That's a hypothetical, though. As I'm saying,
no hypothetically,
if that was on the line, who would you pick? Yeah, that's going to make the truth. I put a lot of
I can't pick. If that was a real choice to be made there, I couldn't even give you an answer. Because I would never put my life on
that's how tough it is to pick who's going to win. Okay. That's how tough it is to pick the winner, man. Hey, much love to the family. All right, you know I'm praying for everybody on it, man. Much love to everybody in the comment section. Man.
All right, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, CK. Thanks for engaging with us with that crazy ass. He just, CK can be much at times. I do like the fact that he calls, but you know, I've learned a little bit about CK. When you back him up in a corner, he becomes ridiculous. That's the bottom line with CK, y'all. Listen to him here, listen to him anywhere other place. I think he calls here and he calls E-Show. I've never heard him anywhere else. I don't know if he even calls. I don't know. But what I've noticed, and I'll just use, Wyatt Live platform, when you back CK up in a corner, that's when he becomes a troll. That's when it really gets ridiculous. Because he thinks we're sparring. In other words, that's a form of fighting in boxing. He wants to fight. He wants to tongue wrestle and shit like that, instead of really trying to come to a conclusion or come up with something that makes, maybe clears up some of the things in his mind. Like when you say that snitching isn't a thing, that's just crazy. Now, granted, I'll give him this. The majority of people who get in the game, the majority of them snitch. But that doesn't mean that there's not a rule put in place that says, hey, everybody know when you get in the game, somebody gonna tell you at initiation, when you get your first pack, everybody, there's a clear understanding in the game. And that is, if you get caught, you on your own. You keep my name out your mouth. That's a clear understanding. All right, let me go back to the phone lines before I move on. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, good afternoon. This is Edsel.
Edsel, what's good with you, brother? How you feeling today?
I'm pleasant.
What's on your mind?
Earlier today, this light-skinned dude called me today talking all this old bullshit.
Wait, before you get into that, I got a quick question for you. You mind?
Before you ask the question, let me say this part.
Okay.
Last week we was talking about, and I said Chicago was a shithole place.
Okay.
And so is Cincinnati.
Okay.
And you want to say up here and try to split hairs like, well, no, they got great fine dining and all this whole other monkey ass shit.
But they do.
It ain't safe in that place. It's a shithole.
Where?
Point blank.
Which one?
Chicago, Cincinnati. Where else you want to talk about? New York City?
No. Okay. Since you went straight to it, let me just say this to you. I don't disagree with you that it's a shithole. It's just not a shithole all over Chicago. Chicago is one of the largest cities.
But it's like saying all black people ain't criminals. We know that goes without saying. I'm sure there's a nice place somewhere in Chicago or Metro County, but at the same time, Chicago proper is a piece of shit.
Wait a minute, those aren't the places that I could be talking about?
No, you again, you're talking about Skokie and Paladin.
You think I'm talking about Southside Chicago is a great place to be?
There's places on the north side that ain't much better. Those white Polacks up there are complete assholes.
Let's be clear, though. You got to understand, what I was talking about was what Chicago has to offer that's good. When it comes to entertainment, when it comes to food, when it comes to being there and enjoying yourself. That's like saying going to Cincinnati, there's no places in Cincinnati that you can actually do that. And that's just ridiculous, fam.
Let me translate what you're saying. What I'm hearing, you tell me if I'm correct, because what I'm hearing when you say that, what I'm hearing is you say, if you got a few bucks, you can get away from the niggas, Chicago is a great place.
You just made that up because there's a lot of places that
actually was that what I'm hearing?
Oh, no, not at all. Because if you use Chicago specifically, bro, there's areas that are integrated that have both white and blacks, and you can just have a great time. It's not about black and white. There's places see, here's the thing. Chicago's, if you look up Chicago income for minorities or blacks, let's just be specific and say blacks. The blacks that make money in Chicago, they peel off pretty long dollars. So you don't necessarily have to be around, I don't want to call it the elites, that funny acting folk. But I'm just saying, bro, there's some black folks that are like us that you can spend some time with in Chicago. Like Mike Martin, them guys are not elitists. They live predominantly regular.
Who is Mike Martin?
You know Mike Martin used to play with the Bengals. Good guy. Used to coach
dude that made a couple $1 million in the NFL?
Yeah, well, no, he didn't. Come on, bro.
Exactly.
Who was making a couple million in the 80s?
The niggas. Chicago's a great place.
Nobody was making money like he has a small business in Chicago.
Once you start making money, you can always have access to making more.
That's not true.
Once you start making big money,
yes,
you can.
Mike
Once you start making big money like that, millions a year,
hold on.
You always get access and connect. You'll more likely be in a position where you have access to resources and other people who can help get you more money on top of that.
That's all up to you as an individual. That's not set in stone. That's up to how you move as an individual.
Well, nothing's set in stone, but that's if you want to gather infinity stones, if you will, to do that, you can.
Okay, so now let me just say this:
if you making $50,000 on the west side of Chicago as a teacher, you ain't about to be cooking with nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you on that. But now I got to ask you a question, and I don't want to count anybody's money, okay? But let's just say, for instance, Mike Martin played football in the NFL in the 80s, fame. It wasn't too many people making $2 million. Was that just a made-up number, or you was exaggerating?
That was just the number I was throwing up, but he was getting six figures.
Well, probably
when you base it on the time he was living on, trust me, he was doing really well.
We're still talking about now I got to paint a picture of this guy, right? Because we're still talking about a guy that donated his time and changed over a whole entire inner city school program on his own.
My God, that has nothing to do with the fact that he was on a salary as a $6 million.
No. Because what you're trying to do is
point blank. That's all.
No, because what you tried to do was paint a picture of a guy that made money and just went off and started doing other things and didn't really give back.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's your hang up. That's your personal hang up.
You didn't have to say it, bro.
People have made you feel like that.
No, you made it sound like he didn't make $2 million and went off and lived.
All I said was he had a good salary and he had connections. That's all I said.
What was the point
all
of
this
that?
Other shit about how he ain't left his community, all that old other monkey ass shit you talking.
Hold on.
No,
you adding way too much.
You're projecting.
No, you're projecting. You're adding too much. I'm asking you, why even say all of that if it didn't have a meaning into what you're trying to portray, what you're trying to paint a picture of someone? Why say all of that?
Again.
But I can counter it and say that this man went into the inner city with making all that money that you describe. He went into the inner city and changed an entire program at Taft High School, and he changed young men's lives. So when you see somebody
how do you do that? Through connections, other Bengals down there coaching with him.
No, that's not true. Mike Martin played a season.
All right. Wyatt. Next topic.
Okay,
let
me just say this.
Now you tripping.
No, I ain't tripping.
You're tripping.
When you can coach a team with 17 or 18 players and trying to get these kids' grades up so they're eligible to play, that's a different dude. What
does that have to do with fine dining and business
it says a lot about his character. It says that he's willing to come into the city and spend his time and his efforts in building up a school that really needs some man type of help. It's not the character of somebody that'll go make a bunch of money and then go off to the suburbs of Chicago and not look at us anymore. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, he's such a swell guy that you sent your daughters to Taft.
Well, no, they're not in the district.
Okay, then.
I sent my kids to Coleraine.
You could have paid for them to go to Taft. You could have paid for Mason for them to go to Taft.
I paid for them to go to Coleraine instead.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, a suburban school.
No,
okay.
it wasn't a suburban school at that time.
Correct. It is a suburban school. It's outside the city of Cincinnati. It's in the county.
Whoa, wait.
It's a suburban school.
Technically, but we know what type of kids go to that school. So don't do that, because we know there ain't no such thing as a pure suburban school when you have kids that are going from inner city. That ain't no suburban school.
Some suburban kids are some of the biggest hellions.
That's not what I'm saying. See how you keep trying to switch shit up? You know
what I was saying. I'm not trying to switch shit up.
You know what I was saying.
You're getting perturbed because you're trying to digress and go into other stuff. And I'm trying to keep you on the fact that Chicago is a hellhole.
Okay, I'm gonna let
Point blank.
I'm gonna let you
win.
It's got
nothing to do with Mike Brown teaching at Taft. How did we get to there?
Because I mentioned
What's wrong with you? Are you okay?
You funny. You can't do me like that. You can't curve me, and you know it. That's why you sitting there trying them games. However, let's go on to what you want to talk about. Because what you said about Chicago being a hellhole and Cincinnati being a hellhole, I just will say that I will disagree with you on that. Go ahead. Now, what are you calling for?
Like I said, this light-skinned dude had called me this morning talking about some, what you had said about black women, blah, 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 this, that, the other, them niggas looking for you. And I'm like, that's what I mean by y'all don't deserve me. Y'all was up there on a weekend cliffhanger, like it was damn who shot JR.
Well, I have to say, I'm interested to know what you're saying.
Just waiting for Fame to come out here. I turn on the show, Twin out here like, yeah, it's showdown day, Fame, blah blah blah. You waiting for me like that? You don't watch my own podcast, Twin. You waiting for me to explode on here?
Well,
I don't deserve that.
Well,
go ahead. You were saying?
All I'm gonna say to you is this: I'm actually interested to hear what you have. It was a cliffhanger. I ain't gonna lie. The last time you called the show, you said some shit that I was trying to figure out if I was gonna agree or disagree. I'm probably hanging on the edge of not agreeing, because when I talked to you about it, I was like, bro, I don't know where you going with this, but this don't sound like something that I can agree with, because what you were saying, and maybe I misunderstood you. You said that the reason why the culture is the way it is because of black women. Did I misread you? I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I'll put it to you like this. Yeah, no, you did not misread me. I'll put it to you like this. Maybe it's through, I'm pretty sure it's through intelligent design. But somehow, the black community is the only community or only major community ran by a matriarch. And in that matriarch, we've allowed women to suppress patriarchy and just male energy, and it's caused the black community to be at the bottom of the totem pole of everything: education, money, whatever you name it. Black folks is at the bottom, and for 50, 60 years is because we fell into the bait of the intelligent design. All it is a recycling of Jim Crow messages, of emasculating the black men. And now we've got the black woman leading the community, and through no fault of her own, just because she was placed in that position, we're at the bottom of the totem pole. Now, anybody who wants to disagree with me, disagree with what I said. Do not insult me personally.
No.
I'll reply.
I won't let that happen. I can't control what people say, but I will take up for you, even if I disagree or agree with you. I'm just a little confused. So basically, you're really blaming the men. That's what it sounds like to me, because the women it's not their fault. See, I'm a little confused.
What men?
Hold on. Just let me understand, because I'm not against you, brother. I'm just asking because your explanation is totally different than what your title was. You know how you title a book and then the book is nothing like the title? That's kind of like what you just did. You said it's the black woman's fault that the culture is messed up the way it is. And then you come in here and you try to explain it in a way that makes more sense than the title. Okay, you say that black men pretty much are not present. This is what I'm getting in a nutshell. We allowed the woman to take control because we weren't present, and we're not in a space to be able to recover because women are so far gone ahead and that we've been put in our place. Sort of like the concept of, I don't want to put this one on you, but I'm starting to get the read of women took the money instead of the man. Remember that? Remember they took the welfare.
Say that again. Say you modulated. Say that again.
No. I'm starting to hear that mess. I don't know if this is what you're saying, because I've had this conversation before. Are you saying that women became rulers and controllers because they were incentivized to do that, or we were just as men weak enough to allow them to make that happen, for them to be in that position?
They were incentivized to do that.
See, I don't know if I buy that, but that's where we're gonna have the discussion, Fame. You're gonna have to convince me. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying you're gonna have to convince me, maybe a few others. But I don't know if it was because they were incentivized, or if we as men just dropped the ball and never recovered. We dropped, we fumbled the ball.
Men ain't dropped no ball. We were trying to stay out of white folks' way.
Okay.
And so they lobbied a bomb on the black community called matriarchy. And we sat there and got swallowed up by that bomb. We had no choice.
So Alicia
had no choice.
So
but women could have said, "Hold on."
So hold on.
I see the pump fake, if I can put it in twins lingo.
Hold on, let me see. Because Jerica says this, and I agree. She says, so why attack the black woman if she was placed in the position by no fault of her own? See, that's
because
how the title.
Because you got to be smarter than that. You got to be smarter than that.
But no, because
just like Jerica, you got to be smarter than to ask a question like that, Jerica. What the hell's wrong with you?
Because your title.
Are you okay today, lady?
No.
You're smarter than this.
To defend
no, that's
hold on.
No, that's case in point.
Your title.
How would you ask a question like that?
Because your title
doesn't
match your explanation. No. I'm trying to tell you.
Maybe the title don't have to fit. I'm speaking off the top of the head with the topic and whatnot. You came up with the title. I didn't.
I didn't come up with that. You did, bro. That was your
whole. You tried to put me in a trick bag, and it's not gonna work.
No, bro, that was your thing. You was like, well,
now we got women, that like to argue with random men. They like to argue with random men, despite being married. Don't cook shit. The idea of a meal is a stove out of the microwave.
Let him cook. Y'all asked for it. So what? Microwave. I heard that. What was that?
That's their idea of cooking. By making some stofers out of the microwave. They banter with random men, make bets that they don't honor because they think that they think their behavior is honorable. They insult people's mothers. This is a very insulting group right now because of what the quote unquote the man allowed them or put them in a position to do.
Well, what man? Okay, so you don't see that as a man's fault that they put these women in a position to live?
When I say the man, I mean Uncle Charlie, the white man. Damn.
No, I get it. Bro.
Oh, okay.
All I'm saying to you is we had to be a weak man to let this happen to our women by the man.
We wasn't no weak man.
Okay, all right. Well, that's where I think
we disagree. No weak man. We realized like there ain't shit we could do about this. But if she gonna call the cops on you, any type of manship around the house. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. There was nothing you could do about it.
Let me ask you this, though.
I told you it was intelligent design.
Okay.
So now it was an extension of just like if the NFL is an extension of slavery, then the current black community, the current state of the black community is an extension of Jim Crow laws. Weaken the black man, elevate the woman, make her think she's more powerful than she actually is.
Okay, I buy that a little bit. But now let me ask you, do you see any fault in black men for this being the way that it is? Everything you say, let's say everything you're saying is...
Well, you want us to go ahead and just start dying for randoms? You think you're supposed to just go out there and get caught in crosshairs for random people? Best we can do is just keep our house sane. You know damn well you won't want you got 2 daughters. You won't want neither one of them to date a boy that came from a single mom from the projects. Damn well you'd be like, come on, little Lisa. Really?
I don't know about that, Fame. I don't know about that. I'll be honest. I do want my daughters to have the best and be with the best, but that doesn't mean that it can't be a kid that was a single mother, that had a single mother from the projects, because that would be their dad. You see what I'm, and I know what I'm capable
I
of
disagree,
doing.
but if you say that, I'll have to honor it. But I disagree
No, I mean,
that you'll practice that same thing if it happened in real life.
No, but it's the truth.
You're a little pushy.
I know, because it's the truth. I think that, look, I know that there's some handicaps, and I mean this sincerely, guys. This is real talk. I know there's some handicaps that a kid that's raised by a single mother, a boy that's raised by a single mother, there's some handicaps that he has, but that doesn't mean that he can't learn. And it doesn't mean that he can't honor and cherish my daughter. Okay. There's some things that definitely that would hurt me, or that would definitely, I would have an alarm, a red flag would be up about some things. But what you just described, Fame, and I mean this respectfully, bro, but you just described a dude that is me. And I think that what I want.
You're right. Exactly. I specifically chose a boy from the project because you wouldn't let your daughter date you.
Yes, I would.
You would not. No, you wouldn't.
Bro,
you'd be like, where's mama? Where's mama do?
I'm sorry.
She grew up, but she raised 2-3 kids by herself down in the projects in the Faye. You'd be like, no, I don't want that kind of trouble around here.
Okay, hold on. Here's where I disagree with you, because as a father of daughters, the way I raised my daughters, and this might not sound right to some people, but this is just us talking. I raised my daughters where the first man they ever fall in love with is me. So I knew the importance of certain things that I had to put in front of them for them to understand the type of man that they're supposed to have in life. A provider, protector. You see all of those things my daughters look for, because they learn those things from me. Do you understand? So that's what I want them to go get when they're out there looking for their husbands or their boyfriend, whatever you want to call it. That's what I want. So no, you're wrong. In most cases, I could say some of my friends, I could say, no, I don't want my daughter to be with nobody like him. And he's exactly what I was when I was growing up. Single mother, parent, all that old shit that you just described.
Okay, single, I'm sorry, dating, friends, maybe I was too specific, but that's what
I want my daughter with a guy that got a bunch of kids?
Energy in your house at all.
No. Here's the thing. No more. Here's the thing. I do believe that a woman can raise a son to be respectful. I think that he has a lot of catching up to do on how to be a man. Okay, because I don't believe a woman can teach a man how to be a man. I think they can teach him how to be morally respectful and things of that nature. I've always had those conversations. But okay, let me play your hand real fast. No, I don't want a kid from the projects. They got 2 kids out by 2 different women who hustle, smoke weed, and do a bunch of other shit. That ain't acceptable to me. Did I have a lot of friends that did that? Yes. But what you described, single little dude with a single mother from the projects, all this other shit, you describe me. And then when you say, would you want your daughters to be with a man like you? I'm honestly telling you, that's how I raised my daughters to be, is to find a man like me. Because when I found out I had these daughters, I had to
find a man like you.
Yes.
Not a boy like you.
Well, a man like
I'm talking about when your daughters were 15, 16, 17, first started dating, going out alone.
Well,
you know damn well you ain't letting your daughter hang out with a boy from a single mother, from a 15-year-old.
That was like me.
Law Homes.
Okay,
stop fronting.
No, bro. I misunderstood you. I thought you meant, do I want my daughters to? I think some other people may have misunderstood you as well. I thought you meant, do you want your daughters to marry a man like yourself? And I'm saying yes. Now let's rewind it.
Yeah, marry a man.
And yes, now let's go your route. Let's go your route. Let's go your route. Do I want my daughters to be with a 15-year-old Wyatt? Okay, probably not.
That's the end of it right there. That's it. That's all I was saying.
We were just on 2 different pages. I just didn't understand where you were with it. That's fair.
Yeah, let's leave it there.
Okay.
Let's leave it there because, like I said, I don't like to ruin people's listening experience. I'm an MC, not a rapper. You understand? A lot of y'all is tag team back again. I'm KRS-One. I'm Nas. A lot of y'all is the Carlton dance. I'm the Raj and Rerun dance. You understand me? I'm hip hop. Y'all like the basic shit. I'll holler. It's been real. I had fun, and you don't need to look behind you because you know there's a wolf on your ass. Oh!
All right. Thanks for engaging with us, Fame. I appreciate you. I think I got lost in the conversation because maybe I misunderstood. But I think where he was going with it, and I don't know if I agree with it all the way. Because I've made my comments about single mothers raising little dudes and stuff like that. But does that mean that all little dudes that are 15 and 16 years old who's raised by a mother don't know how to treat a girl? Nah, that don't mean that. I will admit there are single mothers raising young men, and that young man is way behind where he needs to be on how to do things, because a woman can't teach a young man how to be a man. That's just my opinion, and I'm gonna stick with it. However, that doesn't mean that he's going to have multiple kids, multiple baby mamas. It don't mean that he smoking weed and doing all the shit that I would want my daughters away from. It don't necessarily mean that this kid is doing that. Matter of fact, I would say the majority of these kids out here are not living like that. There's a small group of guys or kids that live by that type of shit. Yes, I understand. That's why I told Fame, no, I wouldn't want my daughters to be with a 15-year-old Wyatt, me. No, because number one, when I was 15 years old, number one, it's probably too young for them to even be into something, like that. At 15 years old, I don't think a 15-year-old little boy is looking for his future wife. Okay. I don't think he's looking for anything other than fun. I think it's wrong to think that. I think it's wrong to think that 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds can't be part of someone's life and be positive, and or can't teach them something. See, we're not all from the same thing. All right. And I know this is going to sound a little elitist in certain things, man, but all 15-year-olds don't act the same, like from different places. When I was 15, I had a friend of mine, close friend of mine, already had 2 kids. You see what I mean? That ain't everywhere. You can't go everywhere in all communities and see 15 and 15-year-old kids with kids. That's not a common thing. Not everywhere. In the projects, it is. We've had girls that were 16 years old getting their first CMHA apartments in law homes in Lincoln Courts, Stanley Road. They were 16 and 17 years old and they had their own place because they had kids. That's not everywhere. Okay, that's not everywhere. That's not common. It's not as common. I understand what Fame was talking about. I understand his argument there. He's right. No, I wouldn't want my daughter with a kid that's going through all of that. However, I'm just not buying the brand. Y'all gonna have to, I guess I'm gonna have to just be against everybody on this one. I'm not buying the brand. I think it's very insulting to say that women took the money over the men. I've been saying this for a long time. I don't understand the concept of you all believing that Black women took money over the man. They were incentivized by money and apartments and all that, and they took that over a loving husband or a loving partner or the father of their children. And I'm not trying to be, y'all know me. I stand my ground on my points. I go against whatever. If we just different, we different in our opinions. I'm not saying this to cushion the fall or none of that shit. I'm saying it because of my experiences of watching a lot of my situation, my friends. We didn't have daddies. And they all was the same type of dudes. I can guarantee you, if I got 10 friends that I mentioned from when we was children, we all was probably jump offs. 8 of us was jump offs. I'm being honest. I'm not going to sit here and say that somebody's mama at 14 years old had sex with somebody with the anticipation that they was about to be married and be with this person for the rest of their life. You was out there experiencing shit just like young men were. Y'all was having fun, having sex. A child was formed. You wasn't trying to be with him forever. He wasn't trying to be with y'all forever. And nobody was thinking long-term in them situations. The young girl ended up in a situation where now she has to collect money. Like, she has to be able to support her child. Mama from the hood too. So the single mama that's raising the little girl is in a position where she ain't making enough money to support her, the child, and the baby. So they got to go get some assistance. They got to get on welfare. They got to get this. And now the little girl, 15 years old, and she's starting to smell herself. She don't want to be living. She grown now. So now she don't want to live with her mama. So she ready to go get her a motherfucking apartment in metropolitan housing and burn her own incense and play her music in her apartment. Go to Sun Furniture and get her some furniture on time. She ready to be grown. This is how it happens. She wasn't incentivized to get on welfare because she had a child. It was two irresponsible motherfuckers that had a child, and somebody got to take care of the kid. How many 14 or 15-year-old little girls have babies and they had a kid and they end up giving the child to the boy, to the son, to the boy, to the father? How many? That don't happen that often, if any. I don't understand how people fall for that. I don't know if it's where we from. I don't know. But I seen it in my life way too much to come up with the conclusion that the government incentivized us and it kicked men out of positions of being powerful. You know, that sound like some old shit that some of y'all leaders been wanting to tell you, so it sound like it's somebody else's fault that two people made a mistake and the accountability falls on the government because they incentivize us not to put our men in our communities to be strong and not allow them to be in our apartments and not on the lease. And that shit ain't even real. And then what happens is we had these conversations like what I'm having now, and it ain't even about the real shit anymore. Now we got to find the fun in the games, and we got to find the micro victories in a real situation, a real conversation that needs to be had about this shit. I am against what you have been taught. You have been taught that the government has subsidized women, putting them in charge, making them the head of households, and that's why men are in the position they in now. It's not that we had babies with girls and we didn't want to have nothing to do with the shit. We didn't want to have nothing to do with the child. We wasn't ready for all of that. It has nothing to do with the fact that that same dude that had a baby with a young girl, he didn't have a father himself, so he don't really know how to be a father. He don't even know the duties of a father. He don't know the importance of a father. So he just neglects the whole responsibility. Let me go to the phone lines. Maybe somebody tell me something different. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
It's Ron. And I think two things can be right at the same time.
I agree, Ron.
And you know, fame is, and I don't necessarily, I don't agree with fame normally, but I agree with him right now.
I would say this before you go, because I'm going to let you have the floor, I promise. I'm going to take a stab at a chart here or a survey or whatever. I'm going to say the majority of men are going to agree with fame. And I'm going to say the majority of women not necessarily agree with me, but would agree with what I'm trying to say. And that is, I don't agree that women took the money instead of the man. I think they took what they had, the only option they had, because the man was not there.
Yeah, and that is what I'm saying when I say two things can be right at the same time.
Okay.
Now, that's that piece. Now, as far as Chicago and Cincinnati being shithole cities, now I'll be 58 next month.
Okay.
And I've been living here all my life. I've never been to Chicago, but I've watched this city transform. And I mean the big crown, and downtown, and everything, the quote unquote gentrification of the city, the inner city, and I don't want to say quote unquote as in it was not gentrification, but I got to put those air quotes in there, just to be balanced, and I mean we can look around this county. If you've been around, if you 50 or above, we can look around this county and see how much this city is transformed. Hell, look how much it's transformed in Clifton. In Clifton.
Okay,
I mean,
Ron, what you getting to?
Yeah, our city, is beautiful.
I think
we got nice. We got nice restaurants. The county, right now. Thank you. Take all that. The county right now. I mean, we have everything that we need. Pretty much. The situation in Hyde Park Square. I don't know if you heard me talking to Lincoln earlier today.
No.
And they want to. They don't want that. The hotel and all that shit going there. And I said that the properties that I sent you, and that was the purpose of me sending them to you.
Okay.
That was. They could build that hotel and all that stuff back there in Bond Hill and Roseline. And then his response to me was basically it wasn't a market for them to do that over here.
Whose response was that?
I'm sorry.
Who gave you that response?
Yeah, Link Ware.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Now, of course, I know that's bullshit because if you build it, they gonna come. If you build a hotel, and in Bond Hill or Roseline, and the people from Chicago come, they gonna get it. They gonna take the hotel that's sitting there, and even if it's in Hyde Park or in Bond Hill or Roseline, they're gonna take the space. And right now, we've been looking to get the Olympics for a long time.
What Olympics?
I'm sorry?
What Olympics you done? The World Olympics?
Yeah.
In Cincinnati?
I'm sorry?
Y'all been trying to get the Olympics. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yeah,
You've been trying to get the Olympics. Y'all can't even get an NCAA tournament. Let alone how you gonna get the Olympics?
Just wait a minute.
Let's be real.
I'm thinking about.
You can't even get a conference tournament in Cincinnati. How are you gonna get an Olympics? Get out of here. Not you. I'm saying that's just ridiculous thinking at this point.
Okay, now again. We've been thinking, they've been thinking about getting the Olympics here for a long time. I think
they might have been talking some shit. They ain't been trying.
It was during Mallory's administration or before they were trying to put bids in on getting the Olympics here. Now,
bro, that's some bullshit. That's
yeah. But right now, we have the Bengals practice facility. We have the a newly built what is that shit? a newly built facility at UC. And again, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just trying to see where
sorry.
we're going with it, because I hear you.
Now,
because everything you just mentioned, Ron, everything you just mentioned is backed by corporate dollar. It's backed by school dollar. It's not a city funded project.
But that's what the infrastructure money is for. With getting the railroad thing, and that's just what I believe, and that's what I'm saying is basically my city is beautiful.
Yeah,
my city is beautiful.
Listen, bro,
my city, we have our bullshit ass things that we go through, but our city is beautiful, is prospering, and is when we get the new facility downtown on the banks with the arena, we'll be good, and we can put a bid in for the Olympics.
What downtown projects with an arena? Y'all doing
I'm
something?
sorry?
I said, what project downtown with an arena? Did y'all do something that I don't know anything about?
No. Wait, I mean, there is no specific project right now, but you know they're gonna do it.
Who gonna do it?
They gonna do it just like they did that shit for the Bengals, and just like they did that shit for TQL Stadium. They gonna do it because they have a purpose.
No, I'm about to tell you something you ain't gonna want to hear, Ron, because you and I love Cincinnati enough to sit here and have enough faith in them, but my realistic bones in my body just won't let it go. Cincinnati is you have to really go somewhere else to see what Cincinnati is dropping. They have more development going on with the TQL and FC Cincinnati than anything, and that's all pretty much private dollar. The city of Cincinnati has not done anything on a city level to show you that they're ready to be a national city. And what I mean by that is you have two national teams, two professional teams that are national. You have the Reds and the Cincinnati Bengals, right?
Three. No. FC Cincinnati.
Well, I mentioned them, but they're privately owned. They're not owned. All of them are privately owned, but they're privately running their own business over there. I think they only took like 10% in that build out of their whole complex. Okay. Half of their complex is in Cincinnati. The other half is out in Mason. They didn't use city money. They used private money to build their shit. So they don't really have to pay attention to what the city does. That little 10% comp that they got, they've made money, and they're in a path that they can just, if that ended, it wouldn't hurt their business. Now they're projecting to have all that property around TQ Stadium, and it's all going to be privately owned. It's not city owned. So they're completely independent. That's their thing. You looking at a company like the Bengals, well, I call them a company, that had a problem with the county with a stadium deal. And the stadium is basically you investing yourself. You're investing into that project for the Bengals. All right. And I understood the argument, but you see how that turned out. You didn't get anything out of that but some notoriety. The Bengals got the Lions portion like they always do, like every NFL city does. You didn't get anything out of that. The Bengals are not obligated to do anything other than Bengals shit. Okay, that's how it works. All that other stuff that was being talked about, it was for other reasons. I'll leave it alone. Look at your downtown. Whenever a new restaurant opens, it opens across the river. You got a Japanese steakhouse that opens up in downtown Covington, which is a cow chipping ass town. It didn't open up in downtown Cincinnati. You got a whole building. You got one building that's being worked on downtown, and we think that it's the biggest shit in the world. That's 20 years behind project. I'm sorry. I love my city, but it's mismanaged. It's not in a position to make any money. And all it is a tax absorbent. That's all. That's all it is, bro. Go ahead. Because of your leadership. Your leadership is guiding it in a way where it's not really about being productive for economical reasons for the city. It's being productive for other reasons. Programs. You got to look at the leadership, bro. You can't show me. You got one entity in Cincinnati that pretty much monopolizes all of your property in downtown Cincinnati, from residential to commercial. That's not a flourishing city, bro. You would never find something like that in Atlanta. You would never find something like that in Los Angeles. You would never find something like that in Chicago. And you'll never find anything like that in New York. You got a monopoly of a nonprofit organization that owns 90% of the city. That's not a flourishing city. How often, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful to you. You know that, bro. I got nothing but love for you. And this is my city as well. How often do you make reservations to go downtown and eat at a nice restaurant in Cincinnati? How often do you do that?
I don't go downtown and eat. Well, I mean, I got restaurants in Barn Hill. I mean, I patronize the restaurants in Barn Hill.
Granted,
to be honest.
Okay, now let me ask you this question, because that's a great response. You're right. Cincinnati is not just downtown, okay? But when you talk about a flourishing city, you start from the inside out. And the inside is your downtown. I've been to I've been to Minneapolis. I've been to so many cities across this country that I know a flourishing city when I see it. It's made up of both small business and corporate business. It's not made up of nonprofit organizations. Nonprofit organizations are designed to funnel money through other things, and that's why you get 20 and 30 years behind on projects. Cincinnati has been extremely lucky by having the Cincinnati Reds and the Cincinnati Bengals. If it didn't have that economic base of going downtown, that downtown would have been gone a long time ago. If you ever notice, it is very hard, unless these businesses in downtown are incentivized, unless they're part of some type of program, it's very hard for a business downtown to survive.
Did you ever notice, I mean, how many apartments are downtown? And I say this for a purpose. I mean, there are tons of apartments downtown.
So let me ask you.
These apartments. Now, just wait a minute. So now these apartments. Now, I was searching for an apartment for my sister-in-law, and I was looking for 1 bedrooms, and now I wouldn't stay in the 1 bedroom.
Okay.
But the bedroom, the one that I came up on, they was like $1,300. You know, and that's not in the inner city. That's in the outskirts. That was in Pleasant Ridge.
Okay.
Now in the city, they making money. Now, those apartments down there for a 1 bedroom, I know if it's $1,300 here, I know it's $1,500 for some of those spaces downtown. The reason that I'm saying that is because economically, them folk making money. They not. That's a minimum.
I don't know.
I think.
Wait, Ron, I got to ask you a question. I know I got to stop you there because I got to ask you a question about what the point you just tried to make. I'm not saying you're wrong, but do you think because people develop apartment buildings that they're actually kicking ass and making a bunch of money?
Because literally a lot of those apartments will be empty. Now, a lot of them will be full by, what is it? 2027.
So now let me ask you something. I just got to ask.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to ask you. I'm in a space right now of asking you questions so you can help me. Okay. The first question was, do you think when these developers build these build outs, old businesses like the old what was that building there? It used to be the old Shillitoe's, Lazarus, and all of that. Those are apartments now, right? It's not a business anymore. Okay. So what about what was that? The store, Saks Fifth Avenue building is now going to be apartments, right?
Yes, I think so.
The old GE building downtown, now apartments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's the other building?
Macy's building.
The one start with a C. The one by the square.
I'm not quite sure, but
oh shit!
It'll come to us, or somebody will put it on the screen. I got one more.
The old building.
The Carew Tower.
Yeah, Carew Tower.
Now I got one more for you. The Macy's building. Okay. The Macy's building. I'm going to show you something that's going to I'm going to put this in perspective for you. A lot of people probably would say Wyatt on some bullshit, or why he's not down there talking to city council, or is he a whistleblower? Some of y'all might think I'm just saying some shit just to be saying it, but I'm not. In most of these projects, in most cases, these things are incentivized by your own city to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're tax-based incentives. So you're basically financing people to bring you back to life for something that's not really, it's like not an income thing. Like it's not something that's generating money like you think it is.
But now, wait a minute. So
I would rather have a business in downtown Cincinnati. This is my point. I would rather have a business in downtown Cincinnati than an apartment building. If I'm the city, I would rather have people come downtown to shop and spend money versus to come downtown and live and there's no shopping or nothing down there. I would rather have people, go down there and spend money. That would be me if I was in that position.
Okay, now if they're flooding the downtown with apartment buildings and the outskirts of downtown. You look in Clifton, and you look in Walnut Hills and everything. They're building apartments all around downtown. Now they're building apartments all around downtown because they're going to get that business. They're going to get that business. They're going to get that retail business that they want, because where are you going to go down? I go to Brookwood, High Park, and Brookwood and High Park. And if I'm really feeling froggy, I go up to Kenwood if I need something.
Okay, all right.
But basically, I don't do that. And the project, I don't even want to get into that. But they're building 15-minute cities. So all of those apartment buildings, when they get all those apartment buildings done, where do you think they're going to go get their food? That Kroger's downtown, that motherfucker is probably making buku money. And they got a bar upstairs. Shit, they probably making buku money. And they're gonna get that business in because they want that business. And they want that money from the Olympics. If they run the streetcar up all the way up mine to the new facility and back around through E Park and downtown, shit, it's gonna be over. And they got the money to do it because they sold their railroad for infrastructure money, so they can apply that infrastructure money to whatever they want to do.
Ron, you sound like this. You sound like you're sitting in the back room with these folks. And I'm telling you, I think you're off base on this. It sounds good. And you know what? I even wish well for it. I hope that's happening. I hope so. But how do you know, and the damn city council don't know what they're going to do with the money? How is it that you know all of this, but city council don't know it?
Okay.
Because city council don't have nothing to do with that shit. They don't have nothing to do with that money. You know it.
It makes sense.
You know that's the dark. You know that. That's
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna say this. I hate to cut you off. You do know that's the dark government that's controlling that money, bro. You know that. So how the hell you know all this move that they about to make, and city council ain't had no talks of none of this in the open air? You just got it all figured out.
it makes sense to make them money.
Okay.
Shit, I ain't basing that shit off of them doing something for the city. They don't give a fuck.
Right. So, and what you
said, 3CDC own the majority of the shit downtown.
Ron, what you're describing.
What you think they gonna do if they move all the way up Vine? They done already crossed Liberty.
Ron,
shit.
Ron.
That ain't the city gonna get tax money. That's it.
Ron, there is nothing in the forecast that I can see that justifies anything that you just said. What you just said was a bunch of hope, and I hope so, and I think this is, and all that shit. I'm just being honest with you, bro.
That's based upon precedence as to what they and it's a trick.
Who have you ever heard say that? Who have you ever heard with the potential?
I mean, I don't care if you Wyatt. You already know. I don't care if nobody heard it.
No, Ron. I'm talking about what has given you this notion of this development going in that direction. Where are you getting this from? Now, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't agree.
Let me tell you where I'm getting this from.
Okay, please do.
Okay. Now, you know we need a new arena. Everybody's been talking about the new arena. And they've been talking about where they're going to put it. Now,
I don't know that.
Downtown,
I don't know that. I know that we need a new arena in Cincinnati. I'll give you that. But I haven't heard of any talks about a new arena. I haven't heard any budget talks. I have not heard anything about they're going to get a new arena. I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay. They were talking about it. They've been talking about it on the Lincoln Ware show. They've been talking about
maybe I missed it. I'm sorry.
It was a while ago, but you know.
Are these people? Are these city officials that's been on the show talking about it, or are these just motherfuckers that just be listening to the show talking?
I don't know.
I got my answer. I got my answer. You answered it. Go ahead.
I'm
just
do
saying, bro. No,
because I didn't fucking answer.
Because you said I don't know. I
said I don't know if any city official said the shit because I don't remember shit. So because I don't remember don't mean that they didn't say it. I don't remember.
Okay,
I don't remember, but they were talking about it. And they were talking about it serious. We know we need a new arena. Now, in Mallory's administration or the administration before, they were talking about, they actually put a bid in to getting the Olympics. They actually put a bid in. Now, we can see if they get a new arena, if they even plan on getting a new arena. We got a new convention center. We got, contrary to popular belief, we got a whole bunch of hotels downtown. Now, they put hotels in Oakley. They put two hotels in Oakley. They trying to put a hotel in Hyde Park. They put a hotel on Reading Road in Avondale of all places. Now, what do you think they putting all these fucking hotels around here for? What do you think they had to go and do the convention center before?
The convention center was 50 years old.
Next to the convention center. What do you think they doing all these hotels for?
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you think they're building all these hotels for the bid and possible win of the Olympics coming to Cincinnati?
I think that we are building all these hotels because they want to get all that money. They want to get a NCAA championship. They want to get hopefully a WNBA team.
Ron,
and I don't know if any of this stuff is going to come to pass, but I know that they're going to get that arena done. That's what I know. And that, I do know that their hotels hotels are getting put up all around the city and the outskirts of the city, and they're not doing those hotels to not make money.
Okay, can I speak now, Ron, if you don't mind? Because I agree with you to a certain extent. I think they are doing some development, but I don't think it's for the reasons of what you think it's being done for.
Okay,
because you don't like. Have you ever seen a city develop itself to be an Olympic city? Have you ever seen that?
All the cities do that.
No. I'm going to give you a perfect example.
But see, California is doing that right now. Every city does that to prepare for the Olympics.
No. Let me tell you what happens. I'm going to give you a perfect example because I wasn't really there, but a lot of my buddies ended up going there because once they got the announcement that they were getting the Olympics, there was a ton of jobs, and it was in Atlanta. Okay. Do you remember when Atlanta hosted the Olympics? Do you remember what they did to Atlanta in order to be prepared to put in a bid for the Olympics in Atlanta? Do you remember what happened? Everything that you're talking about right now was done after the fact. Hotels and things of that nature is not the first thing you put in to put a bid in. You do your infrastructure. You widen your expressways. Atlanta went from a 3 expressway lane to a 6 expressway lane. You build your bridges. You do all your infrastructure first. You build your downtowns. You make them suitable.
So what are we doing?
That's not what I hear.
We got a new bridge project.
Oh no, that's not the bridge that you're talking about, brother. That's the bridge across Kentucky and Ohio. That's not the same thing. I'm talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
All I'm saying to you, Ron, is I watch Atlanta prepare itself for the Olympics. What was that? The 90 or 94 Olympics? I don't remember. I can look it up. Anyway, I can remember when Atlanta was preparing itself for the Olympics, and the last thing they were putting up were hotels. That was at the end of the stages of what was going on. All right.
Yeah, but you don't want to do the shit when you are awarded the Olympics. Well, you want to do that shit so you can be awarded the Olympics.
No, that's not true. Because what you do is thank you, Ben. It was 1996. Okay. What you do is you forecast. Okay, you don't have to, like a business plan. You don't have to have everything.
That was like I said. That was what probably was forecasted when they put their bid in. They probably looked at what they needed to do.
Ron, I'm gonna tell you a secret.
I mean, the consequences are what we have right now and what they're building.
Ron, I'm just gonna tell you a little secret that a lot of people may not know. Okay, and I'm gonna say it on the air. And I hope people understand that I'm not trying to be nasty, not towards you, but I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm not trying to expose anything. And I want to be careful how I say this. I pay attention to what businesses come in your business into your city based on incentives. When you get certain types of business that come into your city, there's usually some type of attachment through politicians or some type of politicking going on. And when you get into things like development, those are the easiest money funneling positions that you can be in if you're trying to get something passed, if you're trying to make some money on the side. Those are the things that they go after. It's not, okay, we're going to build all this for future forecasts of Olympics. The first thing they do is they go get contractors. Contractor is the way that you funnel money. And even when you want to be called a contractor of the city, or when you want to be called, I'm bringing in a contractor to a developer contract. Those are ways of funneling money and getting people that you want to be quiet or to do things for you. That's a play. It's political. Okay. You don't build hotels in the anticipation that you're about to have the Olympics come there. Now, what I will grant you is the hotels will help you more so in the case of getting an NCAA tournament or getting you maybe a Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it helps Taylor Swift and these people that have these multi-billion-dollar tours come to your city, but it's not going to get you an Olympics. You do infrastructure to get Olympics, bro. You do street widening. You make sure that your income base is a certain way. You have to have an income base there. Build business. You build business. You don't build.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
You build business. You don't build expense. That's all I'm trying to tell you. It's two different things.
So you do know that they've been widening 75, right?
No, I think they've been fixing it.
Okay, they've been widening it.
No, they've been fixing it.
Okay, oh man, come on, dude.
Ron, I'm being honest with
you. Listen. They've been doing infrastructure. I mean, I don't
Ron, I've been in Cincinnati.
Ron,
hold on.
Let me
I know, Ron. Let me
I
just
live here, Ron, and I ride the city every day with my dog.
I promise you something right here, and tell me if I'm wrong, right or wrong. I want you to tell me if I'm right or wrong. I've been back in Cincinnati since I got back in Cincinnati in the year, I think it was like 99. Okay? It was 99. So we can do the math on that. 30 plus years. I've lived in Cincinnati. I've owned homes, whatever, in Cincinnati. I can't remember a time. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong if you live in Cincinnati. I can't remember a time that they have not had yellow cones or orange cones out on the expressway. They've been fixed. Hold on, Ron. Ron, you gotta let me get this point out. You gotta let me, because I understand the hustle of construction and city construction. I understand the hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's
always been construction going on the expressways or on streets for the last 30 years. It's part of the game.
When was the last time you went up to 75? When was the last time you went up 75?
No, I'm thinking about it. I want to be accurate. I'd say within a month or so. Because you got to keep in mind, I drive it I do, is it 71 or 75 that heads to Columbus?
No, you thinking about 71.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Because I don't know which one. Is 71 Columbus or is 75 Columbus?
71 is Columbus.
Okay, so 75 is the one right by the Fay Apartments. And I ride that from downtown Cincinnati.
No, that's 71.
What?
Or that's 74.
No. So 74 goes to what? 75,
from the Fay Apartments, that's 74.
Wait a minute, hold on. I'm getting
75 confused. Is going up towards Dayton.
75 is Dayton. So that's the expressway that I was referring to. 74 flies off of 75 to head towards Indianapolis. So I'm telling you right. 75.
So you didn't see the widening project they had.
No. I seen them put a bridge in over there, bro. That loop
I'm not.
From Mitchell. From Mitchell. Wait a minute, hold on, Ron. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying they haven't widened it. It wasn't because they're trying to make more lane space. They created a whole nother viaduct over that way. They made it where you get off Mitchell Avenue and they built a bridge. So they had
that's that. I'm not even talking about that. That's there. That's the infrastructure they did there. Now, if you're going up towards Dayton on 75,
okay,
they widened it.
Okay.
Now,
I'll say, because I don't know that they widened it for that. I've seen them do construction on that expressway for years.
But you took me way off.
I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. I just don't. Let's just say this, Ron. I don't think that the Cincinnati. Look, bro, you can't get you. They've put in bids for things that are much smaller than the Olympics, and they failed. And I don't mean to be I'm trying to make them failures. I'm saying that the Olympics is something that is major, and you have to have major reconstruction of a city economically, infrastructurally, and I just haven't seen that happen in the city. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Okay, but You took me off my square, like Twins say, you took me off my square.
My bad. I didn't mean to do that.
I really ain't called to talk about that. I was just calling to talk about, how beautiful our city was.
And I agree. I don't agree with Fame talking about Cincinnati and Chicago are hellholes. I don't agree with that.
Yeah. No, I don't agree with that.
No,
but I agree with Fame when he said everything else pretty much.
Like what?
Now,
no, ain't no don't pay. Like what? That it's black women's fault.
When he said, I'll just say this. Women had a choice. We had a choice too, but women had a choice. But they stood on standing on our neck and our back instead of helping black men up.
Bro.
Now I don't want to say every woman.
Oh my God, y'all
don't want to say every woman.
It's something wrong.
But
with
you can see they stay like us like Fame said. They talk to us any old kind of way and do all that old type of shit and then dare you to hit them because they'll call the police.
No, I'm gonna tell you something, Ron. I'm gonna tell you something how I feel about all of that. And this is gonna be. And I want Alethea. I want Sis to call in because she's been trying to call. When you hang up, I want her to call in. I just want to say this about. I'm not trying to defend one or the other, but I do want to say this. If black men had their own shit, they wouldn't have to deal with what they deal with women. The simple fact. Let me say what I got to say, bro. If there was no threat of a woman kicking us out of her apartment because it's her lease, if it wasn't no threat of us driving her car and she can take our car from us anytime she feel like it, then they wouldn't have so much power on us. I keep trying to tell my little dudes, like, bro, go get your own place and then have a girl move in with you.
What about if they marry?
What you mean?
So if they marry and they do all that type shit and disrespect you and all that type shit, like I said,
I had my
first wife spit in my face.
Why would you marry somebody that was spit in your face?
Wait a minute, because she loved me and all that old bullshit. Yeah, she loved me.
That was that love.
She loved me, and I was in love with her, and then she spit in my motherfucking face.
She didn't love you, Ron. She lied to you.
Spit in my fucking face. Now, I told you that I put a pillow on her face and just you hit her ass a couple times. And this was when I was 20 years old. So,
well,
it was 30 years ago.
I'll be honest with you, bro. I think that's a little too young to believe anybody.
Hey, well, I do too, and I could kick my parents in the ass for letting me get married when I was fucking 20. But anyway, like I said, if she do all that type shit and call the police, what if you married?
Well, Ron, you know what? Here's the thing. I will say.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know. And like I said, Fame was right on that shit.
No, he ain't right. No, he ain't right. Y'all just don't understand something that y'all getting it wrong about something. And I'm on your side, but I got to explain it to you the right way. People love different. People see love as being different. Somebody just put in here, I can't see who it was. Oh, it was Tanika. She said love is action. And a lot of people don't understand that action can be different. So the way you treat somebody that you love them might be the way they were taught how to love. Like some men truly do love a woman and they put their hands on a woman, and the way they show that they love is this. And there's women that think that it's something wrong with him if he don't beat my ass. If he don't beat my ass, he don't love me. She's been taught love wrong. Somebody taught her wrong, right? And then there's men that believe that in order to show this woman that I love her, that I have to just give up. I can't be my own man and I can't say anything because I'm afraid to piss her off, and I don't want to piss her off because I love her. And that's just.
Hey man, I'm going to hang up. So and I'm listening.
Okay,
but I'm going to hang up.
Okay, bro. I appreciate you calling in and being wrong about everything.
Shut up,
nigga. All right, Ron. Thanks for engaging with us, man. Ron crazy if he think I agree with that shit that him and Fame on. But I told y'all, phone lines are open. I told y'all that most women aren't going to agree with them on that. And to be honest with you, I think that I've always told young dudes right here on this platform, and I know a lot of young dudes aren't really watching, but what have I always said, y'all? I don't move out your mama house. Go out and be independent. Get your own place. This is what I'm not. Okay, let me tell it to you first, and then I'll tell you something else, because y'all get tired of what I'm talking about what I did. Okay, go get your own place. Be self-sufficient. Be in a position where your name is on the lease. Be in a position where be in a position where you're in control of what you got going on and nobody can put you out. And see if love don't treat you different. But when you're in a dependent spot, when you depending on everything and you can't fall out, or you can be treated differently. If you don't have your half of the rent, it's going to hit different if you on her lease versus if it's your lease and you need help with your half of the rent. It's different. I don't know how else to say it. I'm just tired of dudes always trying to make it about look, the truth is there is some truth that we have been emasculated, our manhood has been snatched away from us. And the only way you can do that is from a man that's not powerful, a man that has to depend on a woman, a man that has to depend on somebody, and if they tell him no, then he has nothing. You can't snatch the manhood away from a man. You just can't do it. And a man has to be independent. He has to have his own car, his own place, his own money, his own this and this and that. That is a man that's going to move different. And if he love you, y'all going to build it together. He going to kick what he already got in, make it happen. She going to kick what she got in. Y'all going to either move in with him. That would be my recommendation. Move in with me. Come on over here with me. And then we'll stay together for a year or two. And then we'll go get a place together. But I'm not about to bring my motherfucking PlayStation and a garbage bag and some drawers and go move in with a woman and then not understand what love is because we didn't hit a brick wall on some shit and she tell me to get out. I ain't never been in a position where a woman can tell me to get out. And if she ever did, I had a girlfriend one time. She had her own place. She told me, you acting you this and this and this and that. Get out. I never went back. That was the end of us. I don't love you enough for you to tell me to get out. You tell me to get out, I'm gone forever. I'm on some Cardi B forever type shit. There's a better, and I don't mean she said get out and go cool off, go get you a beer or drink a Coca-Cola, or go to dinner, no, this was that vicious, well, get out then, motherfucker, get out. I can't mess with nobody that feel that they can throw me out. Even if I'm paying half of the rent as a young dude, whatever. You ain't about to tell me to get out. That's old. You might as well just tell me we done. Never, ever. Don't tell me that. Let me go to the phone lines. Maybe somebody tell me something different. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Wyatt. This is Tanika. How are you?
Tanika, what's good with you?
I'm good. Thank you. I was just calling. I just referring to the comment that I made.
Okay.
I said that. I'm sorry. What you say?
I'm sorry. I missed your comment. What did you say?
No, you read it.
Okay. What was it?
When you were talking to Ron, he was talking about he was so in love with the girl and, she was in love with him. And I said, love is action.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
And what I meant by that is not what somebody's definition of what they think love is. I'm talking about real love.
Yeah, your actions.
So,
how you
yeah, because I think you made the comment that, it depends on what a person thinks that, love is based on how they was raised, but that's still a false sense of love. And I'm only saying it because love is not what you say, because a lot of people get caught up in, I love you, I love you. I'm looking at what you do, because that's why I said love is action. It's what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Well, wait a minute. I hear you and I agree with you, but I can also add something to that you may not agree with. And that is, if I've been taught how to love a certain way, it may not be the same way that you agree with how love is actioned. Okay. I know some guys that think that they love their woman and they put their hands on a woman. And of course, you being a woman don't believe in that, right? But there's people that really believe that love to them is, I got to keep her in check. I got to keep her only focused on me. I got to do this. I got to do that. And then if she get out of line, I'm going to smack her ass, because that's how he's been taught how to love. That's not really love, but in his mind it is. So I think love is an action that's taught. It may not be taught the right way. It may be taught the right way or the wrong way. It all depends on what your interpretation of love is.
Yeah, so no way, shape, or form is abuse love. Even though somebody may have a perception of what they feel like love is, it still ain't love. It's not the definition of love. I understand what you're saying.
I agree.
But I just wanted to clarify, because I was thinking about Ron, and then he had a nerve to try to blame his parents. Sir, you were 20. You made a decision.
Right. You heard that,
you
right?
know what?
He mad
I heard that. My thing about that, he tried to blame his parents. And the thing about that, even if they would have stopped him, you talking about you all love that woman, he probably would have married her anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
It would have been a whole different conversation. It would have been, right. He would have been saying, oh, see, my mama and them didn't want me to marry her. We still together to this day. And that was 40 years ago. You see what I'm saying? Right. So you can't, it'll be what it is. But all I was saying, Tanika, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that people's interpretation of love. Now, I know putting hands on women and all that, that's not love, okay? But some guys are taught that you have to keep your woman in check, and that's part of the love process, and that you have, like, I'm not saying they were taught to put hands on a woman, but they watched people put hands on women, and they thought that was part of the process. They thought that was what it was.
That's their delusion mind that makes them, and there's some mental, to me, in my opinion. And I come from that. My dad used to abuse my mom, so I have firsthand experience.
I know that.
So when I say that, that's a mental health issue. Anybody putting their hands on women, that's a mental health issue.
Well, it goes both ways, because women put hands on men too.
Oh yeah,
it goes both ways.
Yeah, any way they go, no one has the right to put their hands on anyone. So even if a woman, she got mental health issues. I'm all across the board. You know, I don't just because a woman is a woman, I'm a woman too.
Right.
I believe right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're my mama, my daddy, my child, my husband.
There you go. No,
wrong is wrong. So,
I'm 100% on that. Now, I got to ask you a question. Did you hear Fame's explanation of what's going on? I mean, we started out a little bit on this, but we didn't really get deep into it. But Fame is under the impression that the reason why we're in the position we're in right now is because of Black women in the community. Now, the title last week was something different than what he explained today. And he's saying that, Black men have been put in a position where, or Black women have been put in a position that they have to lead. And it's the government's problem. It's their fault. And that Black men didn't really, it's not really our fault that women are leading our people. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I have a real deep explanation for that, but I won't go into that today. Okay. But just on the surface level, how do I, because it's so many avenues you can go to when it comes to that. I believe that some women do have to, play the role of, leading, but then at the same time, it's because of the decision that she made. Now, yes, she probably was with a guy. I don't know. It depends on what the situation could have been with a guy. Yes, he could have stayed. So I think both bear the responsibility. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's one person's fault or the other person's fault. Okay. I think both persons in a relationship, no matter what kind of relationship it is, even if it's a hit and run, because you knew if you was going to hit and run, you should have been protecting yourself. You see what I'm saying? On both sides. So I think both bear the brunt of the responsibility of what, a child being produced or whatever relationship that there is. You understand what I'm saying? I do. So just to put the onus on the women, no, that's not fair.
I understand that. And I just don't know if I believe, because of my environment growing up, I don't believe that the reason why we ended up in not all, but some people have ended up in a position of the woman has taken the lead is because the government incentivized our women. I think that's an insult. Do you see that as an insult when you say that, when someone says to you that women, specifically Black women, because I know that white women are on welfare too. Matter of fact, there's more of them. But how does it make you feel as a woman when you hear that Black women were incentivized to knock men out of their homes? Do you take that as an insult, or do you believe that to be the case?
I don't take it as an insult. because that was not my situation. But I mean, I can see both sides where women back in the day, and maybe even women, it doesn't even have to be the government. It could be just, you can even be on like on Section 8 or something like that.
That's government.
You can't have anybody else live with you. It don't even have to be a man. You know what I'm saying? So I would say like back in the day, and I think about that movie Claudine, because that's when I first seen that type of thing. Where, like the social worker was coming to check and make sure nobody else was living there. So I don't think that they didn't have a man in the house because of that. But at the same time, if I got somebody living up in here, I'm gonna lose my benefits. You know what I'm saying? Even though I know it was a deeper process than that, because you got to show proof and all of that stuff. So I don't feel some type of way about that.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Tanika. I don't know if the reason why you had supervision, so to speak, supervision of how the woman was living, I don't know if it played in detail like what we trying to make it seem like. I think when you're getting when you're getting subsidies, someone has to regulate it. Someone has to say, okay, you're getting subsidized housing, you're getting food stamps, you're getting medical, you're getting all of this, and we're going to come by and make sure that it's being, you're not abusing it. And I don't think that's somebody that's trying to keep somebody out of your house. I think that's somebody saying, hey, if you qualify for this, you get it. If you don't qualify for it, and one of the qualifications are, you're a single mother with 2 children by yourself. But if you have a grown ass man living with you, you no longer qualify for those benefits. That's not somebody trying to keep a man out of your house. That's somebody trying to monitor a system that's put in place for somebody that really needs the help.
Absolutely. I agree. So, I don't believe that it was that, but I get the concept of it. But even now to this day, I used to work up in Tues. I worked for St. Vincent de Paul, and we had a satellite office up there.
Okay.
And we would see, you would see that all day, girls having, men that, that weren't on the lease, or, boyfriends in the units. And to be honest, this may be a crazy statement, but I feel like a lot of crime and all of that happens because of that.
It does.
In those areas like that, because you bringing in somebody who's not on the lease, who's pretty much, if he's living off a woman, he probably don't have a job. And I'm not trying to be funny, because I'm for my people.
No,
I'm pro-Black all day, but I've seen it.
No,
they don't have a job, they don't have a pot to piss in, and they out there causing trouble because they don't have anything else to keep them occupied. You know what I'm saying? So
babe, listen. Let me just say something to you. It's hard to tell the truth sometimes. Just like you was apologetic for saying some real shit right there. I know I know that. I say it. I'm just a little easier to say it. Sometimes I say y'all ain't gonna like me for this, but I know what you're saying, and what you're saying is absolutely true. The reason why the crime element is what it is. Look. Let me tell you something. John O'Brien said this. He said, notice the difference between suburban neighborhoods and inner city neighborhoods. What is the one thing you see? And this isn't like a pass-fail test, okay? What is the one thing you see in the inner city more than you see in the suburbs? If you drive through those neighborhoods, what do you see more in the inner city than anything?
When it comes to what?
The people.
I would say more families, more in the inner city, you might see more single family homes.
Okay.
Or single parent homes versus in the suburbs, you see, husband and wife, and
Let me just say this. You're right in a sense, but I wasn't going for that. I'll just say I'll tell you where I was going. The inner cities are noisy.
I got you.
Do you understand? They're noisy. There's a lot of distraction. They're noisy. There's a lot of people hanging out. You understand? Like hanging outside. And here's the thing, you're gonna have my people that's gonna want these micro victories, and they say, well, ain't nothing wrong with hanging outside. You ain't that's you're trying to control it, blah blah blah. Okay, there's relevance of crime and all this old stuff that happens when you just have a lot of dormant time on your hands. When you hanging out and not doing anything. You don't see that in the suburbs. You don't even see that with people that got nice fences and shit like that. They don't even sit out in their nice grass and just be out there doing nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. But do you not in the inner city see a lot of nothing being done and a whole lot of what? Noise, a lot of distractions. And it don't mean police cars and shit like that. It's just a lot of noise. You can't concentrate. Your children can't really concentrate. They can't study. And it's designed that way because we allow it to be that way. It's designed that way and it's worked. So with it working that way, They allow it to happen. And when I say allowing it to happen, you have people, Tanika, I don't know how to say this, but you have people that actually fight for the rights for us to be self-destroying. Do you understand what I'm saying? We got people that try to tell you that it's wrong to have policing in our neighborhoods, like over policing. Wait a minute, hold on. I want to understand how an area that has the highest crime has the highest murder, intruders, break-ins, has the highest felony. Here's the thing. I measure these areas by felony versus misdemeanor. I don't do it the same way everybody else does it. And they say, well, you got people out here messing with black folks that's just jaywalking, and you got all these cops in the black neighborhood that's just messing with people and putting charges on them. Okay, are they putting misdemeanors on them or felonies? You see what I'm saying? There's a huge difference. If you got a bunch of misdemeanor charges going on people, you probably do have over policing. But if these crimes in these neighborhoods are felonies, that's not over policing, because you're really doing police work. You're stopping somebody from being assaulted. You're stopping some drug activity. You're stopping something that's ruining that neighborhood. Right. A jaywalking ticket is not ruining the neighborhood. That would be over policing. Okay. And when they knocked down marijuana and all that type of stuff, those became misdemeanors. So now you can't really see how much real crime. I know it might not be bad in some minds to smoke weed and all that, right? But I don't know if y'all know this, but weed is for sale. And anything that is for sale on a black market, it hampers illegal activity. Okay, so if it's driving illegal activity, just because it's legal, don't mean that it's a good thing if it's driving illegal activity. When you look at these neighborhoods, they have more felony activity than they have misdemeanor activity. You have to take that serious. And we have activists and we have people in our communities that get paid to tell us over policing in our communities. But no other community in the United States is getting that same type of action other than our communities. Noisy, felony infested, and we sitting back here fighting it as if they just messing with somebody. And that's not the truth. I'm sorry. It's not the truth. I've been in criminal for 25 years of my life, not counting the shit that I used to do when I was a kid. And I know the choices. I know both ends. I know both ends. And it saddens me because when I say what you said, Tanika, and that is, you know what you said, and you were like, I hate to say it, but I feel the same way. I hate to say some things sometimes, but they just things that need to be said.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. And it's so I'm thinking about what you said about, people not working, people just sitting out and, making a lot of noise. I noticed because I watched a lot of court shows, like real life. That's not even a court show. It's like real life court. It's a couple that I watch on YouTube. And one of the number one things, especially in felony court, the one lady, I can't think of her name that I watch. She's really good. She's really nice, but she don't play. Okay. She said that anytime they're on probation, I don't know, you probably know this, one of the main things, you got to have a job, you can't smoke, you can't do any drugs. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like they said, because if you stay occupied, hopefully 9 times out of 10, you'll stay out of trouble. Right. So that's the kind of the mentality there. Right. And so what you're saying is correct.
I know. And here's Tanika, it's very hard to tell my people that because they trust people that look like us to tell us the opposite. Here's the thing. You act like they just, not you, but people act like they're just throwing us in penitentiaries. Tanika, there's people that go on probation 2-3 times. They also violate these probations and never go to the penitentiary. And what do? Like I told you, when they do the bond hearings and things of that nature, they drop these folks right back in those noisy neighborhoods to keep it that way. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And when you have someone that wants to fix that, I don't understand how that's a bad thing. I don't understand how we see that as being evil. You have people right now like Brandon Johnson in Chicago who is trying to make it seem like the government is taking over Chicago because they want to cut back on the number one city that has the highest murder rate in the United States. Guess what, Tanika? If it was white, I'm not trying to be nasty, rude, or disrespectful to anyone. I probably would have a different perspective in his argument if it was a mixture of fatalities of different people. Do you understand what I'm saying? But it's us. 92% of the people that die in Chicago violently is Black folks, and it's young Black men.
Yeah.
So why would I even want to fight something that's trying to fix that? That to me, it seems like if you're against it, then you're just a hypocrite, and I can't even understand how you thinking if you're that far gone. That's like somebody saying, look, I know you went through this because you said your mom was in an abusive relationship, so was mine. So it's almost like saying to us, to you and I, my mom, she needs to leave Rick because Lando don't hit as hard as Rick does. He's not. See, we still keeping him in that condition, but we're gonna take the lesser of two evils instead of just finding Sean, who might be a better man. You understand what I'm saying? We just overlook Sean because they didn't already taught us bad shit about Sean, but we don't know Sean. But we're gonna keep on picking the same type of stuff and just think that it's gonna be, a little bit better with the same poison. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? And to me, I'm a bigger man than that. I'm not going to sit back here and allow people to manipulate me not to say what needs to be said.
Yeah. You know what I wish, Wyatt?
Just
listening to you, and especially our younger people, even some of our older people, because it affects us all. It's one thing that I don't see a lot of. And I mean, you'll see a little bit of it, but I really, really wish it. And I don't even know how we can even get to this point, because I'm a case manager. I'm a permanent supportive housing case manager. So I help the homeless remain housed. So, make sure they do what they need to do, make sure not make sure, because it's up to them. Trying to assist them and trying to get income if they don't have any income. And a lot of the people I deal with, so in my program, you either have to have a mental health issue or you have to have some type of disabling condition. So one of the things, especially working with people who do have mental health issues, I wish for a lot of these young people that we can get to the root, because there is trauma there. But all of us have trauma. Yeah. Every last one of us have some type of trauma.
Yes.
I wish we can get to the root of why they do what they do, because there is a reason.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I wish there was some type of counseling or mental health that's a requirement for them to go through to try to, you know what I'm saying, get to the root so they can make better decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I agree, but let's find some common ground here. I think you and I would both agree that everybody faces we all have some type of trauma in our life, right? Mm-hmm. But here's what I would say to what you just said. It's so broad that we can't just find one issue that'll fix it all, because everybody's trauma is different, especially in the inner city. Like I just read, hold on, let me see, because I got you on the line. Let me see if I can read this. I don't know. I think this was Jerica saying something to Denise Davis. She said, I completely agree. Why place all the focus on Black community? Tame the animals. I'm not quite sure what that was. They may have been having a different conversation, but I'd like to say something about why I focus on the Black community. If that was, like I said to Jerica last week, I might be reading a comment that's way off of what they were talking about. So bear with me. If someone's wondering why I'm challenging it or talking about the Black community, it's because 90% of the deaths of Chicago are us. It's a us problem. That's why I focus on that. If you got 532 killings in a year and 90% of them are us, you got to keep in mind, only 30% of those murders are even solved. And if it's us killing us, what about the other, 70% that never got captured, and they're still running in those circles? That means that there's more likely going to be some more killing going on by those killers that are still out there. They're not going to the suburbs killing suburbians. They're killing that same fraction of that same group of people, which are us. Look, if we don't worry about us, who gonna worry about us? If we're not gonna fix us, who gonna fix us? Because the explanations that I've been getting about fixing us has all been about, well, the Johnsons of the world said I had these guys voting Democrat for 200 years, and just stuff like that. if you don't believe in the government, but yet you're looking for the government to fix us, that's oxymoron. You can't expect a mayor, a governor, a president to fix something that they don't care, that you don't trust them. So how are they gonna fix you? You'll never believe a truth. You'll only believe a lie. So it's oxymoron. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
What you say to that, Tanika?
Oh, I think I think we got to fix us. It starts with us.
Right. Okay. Jerica says, stop taking everything so negatively. I'm speaking holistically, not about you.
You must have took it wrong. Holistically about you. Oh yeah.
Did you see what I'm talking about? See how
but it's okay.
No. You see how I caught the tail end of it, and I said it might not come off right.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is what I was saying, and that is, if I'm concentrating on us, it's for a reason. It's not because I want to be I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm giving you my reason of why I concentrate. Look, if Chicago was evenly killed, no pun intended, if there was 530 murders, 215 of them was white boys, 215 was white, and 215 was black, I wouldn't hold a position. I probably wouldn't be talking about us. But when you're talking 90% of it being us, then I have to kind of say, hey, yeah, we need to look at this, and there's some accountability. We need to look in the mirror. What can we do to fix this? And then when you have leadership such as Brandon Johnson, who's trying to act like it ain't a big deal or it's not a problem, or the reason why, here's his biggest excuse. The reason why that there's so much killing going on in Chicago is because they have a housing problem. No, that's him trying to get more money from the government. Do you understand? Don't associate a housing problem with how people out here shooting and killing, because that's not what it is. I'm sorry. That's just not it. You want $800 million to come to you so you can start acting like you fixing the housing problem, which is going to solve your criminal problem. And that's just not what it is.
Yeah, it all works together. Like you said, and many others have said, we have a parenting problem. We have, they may have a housing problem. It all works together. And these young people these days, they're off the chain. Not all of them, because I know a lot of young people who are doing really well and doing really good. But it's trauma. It's trauma from their parents. It's passed down from their parents and their parents. It's even going back to Wyatt and Tears. It'll be amazing. I know you've seen it. You go out there, you got 3 or 4 generations living in Wyatt and Tears.
Yeah.
It's like it's a mindset, it's a mentality, of certain people in our communities, and it's just they don't want no better. This is it. This is the height of life. And there are a lot of people like my sister. My sister used to live in Wyatt and Tears. Now she bought her a house. She's doing well. She has 5 boys, and she's an example of somebody. Yes, single mother, 5 boys, and she got out of the project, has her own house. You know what I'm saying? But everybody doesn't have that mentality. My mom, 7 children, but she always wanted better for us. She always pushed us to be better. So it just depends on who's in your house, who's pushing you, and some people don't have anybody. They just don't go to the neighborhood or whoever, wherever guy or girl that's, who they feel like may have influence or, to try to be like them, because they don't have any, some people don't have any examples, and some do, and they just want to do what they want to do. A lot of these young people want to do what they want to do because they think they know it all.
But wait a minute, hold on, Tanika, you the genie in the bottle. Okay, and what I mean by that is you just explain the truth of why people are in the positions that they're in. Some people just look for more and some people don't. They're okay with the normal stagnant way of doing things. I could go down the law, if Law Holmes was there right now, which is not there, but it's called City West. There are generational names that have been sitting there since I was a little boy.
Yeah.
It's not that somebody's keeping them there. It's just they don't have Tanika. They don't have Jerica. They don't have Stephen Speed in their family to make them do better. That's not a systematic problem. That is somebody in your you just have a failure in there's a disconnect in your family. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's somebody that's okay with this stagnant way of living. I was on welfare, damn it, so you can be on welfare. Have you seen that clip of that young man that was telling his mom he wanted a job? And she said, no, you can't go get no job. If you go get a job, it's going to mess with my benefits. Did you see that clip?
Yeah. But I will. I will say why there is systemic racism, and I'm not going to say that can stop people, but it can paralyze some of our people as a community, but based on the inherited, innate it was formed to keep us in a certain way. Now, a lot of us overcome it, but we're considered unicorns compared to the overwhelming population of our people who are in poverty, who don't know no better, who can't do no better.
I disagree with that.
I'm not saying they can't do better.
No, I agree with you saying there. I disagree with your sentiment. I disagree. I think that there's more black folks in this country doing better than black folks. I think that majority of black folks in this country are doing better than what we give credit for. And I'm not talking about everybody got to be rich. Everybody got to have way more than what they really need. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a working class individual. There's more of us in this country. Out of how many of us is it? 40 million, 30 or 40 million. I would say the ghettos and the struggling black is not the majority of our people. If you look at how many black people own their own businesses and own homes and go to work and go to work every day and live. I don't even care if you check to check. You're not below poverty level. And when we have this image that being black is a dusty ass position in this United States of America. And see, I don't know who have sold us that bullshit. Excuse my language. I know you're a churchgoer. I apologize for that. But I don't know who has sold us this. But for some odd reason, we got poverty and black people grouped up. And I don't know if y'all know this or not, but there's more poor white people in this country than there are blacks. And I know that there are some black people in this country doing extremely well and doing extremely big things in this world. But what we tend to focus on are the ones that are not doing well. And that's what make it look like it's more of them than it is us.
Yeah. And that's a lot of the reasons, because we are the minority. Well, they are the majority. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No, what you mean? Spit that one out. I want to hear that one.
We are the minority in this country. It's more white people than it is black people. So of course, if there is and I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna do some research because I want to come with facts and statistics. I don't want to just be talking.
Yeah, but when
you know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. But if you just do the numbers, you got to do the per rata though. You can't just look. I will say when I say there's more white people on welfare and that are poor,
that's true.
It is right, and I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's just because there's more of them in this country. I don't think that's the only reason, because I think that we live in a world of classism. I think that you can be whatever you want to be. I don't think there's a systematic problem right now that stops Tanika from being whatever you want to be. Now, I'm not talking about a celebrity, a Grammy-winning singer. I'm not talking about those dream type things. I'm talking about a functional, everyday, tax-paying citizen that wants to be productive in this country. There's nothing stopping you from being that, okay? But if you look at certain mentalities, if you look at certain people, they may not have the ambition, they may not have the good leaders around them, they may not have been raised a certain way, and this doesn't have a color on it, sis. It's white people the same way.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this. I just don't understand why whenever we talking about poor and all that old stuff, we always talking, not us, not you and I, but that seems to be the poor, oppressed people seems to be there's always a poster of black folks for it. You see what I'm saying? And I get tired of that. That's crazy to me, because the reason why, and I know this don't sound crazy to some, the reason why I voted for Barack Obama back when I did the first time is because I wanted that image of a husband and a wife and 2 kids. Right. So black people could look at that and say, this is us. This is us. This ain't nobody. This is us. You feel me? Instead, what we look at, this is why our kids in our communities are misled by evil, because evil has become have out hustled our parents. The dope dealers, the street shit, the music, they out hustling our parents. Parents are not supposed to allow kids to be driven by that negativity and that nasty stuff. They're not supposed to allow that to happen. All right. And when you do, your kids become, subjective to all this nonsense. And that's why a lot of kids make bad decisions. Yeah. It's because of that. If you look at the video, did you see the video I played earlier today from the guys in the neighborhood of Cincinnati on Harrison Avenue? Were you able to catch that?
I vaguely saw it because I was on a work call, but yeah, I vaguely saw it.
Well, if it's some street dudes from Harrison, some real dudes from the West Side, telling these young boys to stop crashing out. And these are street dudes. These dudes been in jail since they was 15, coming home, going back to jail. These guys out in the street. And here they are trying to tell these young dudes, bro, these streets don't love us, man. We got to do something different. We need to get jobs. We got to do something different. It's too much going on out here. When you got the streets telling the streets that, something is wrong. Something is going on that even the street dudes are starting to see something ain't right here. Something ain't right. And until we get to that conversation and stop trying to pamper, and try to be the not the feeling herter, the person that's gonna hurt everybody's feelings. Like when we're afraid to be an outcast. We're afraid to tell the truth about Uncle John who abused the kids in our family. We don't want to talk about it. So if we don't talk about it, it never happened. But how you ever gonna fix the problem if you don't address it? If you don't really admit to the real problem, how are you ever gonna fix it?
That's true. And I'm looking at Jerica's comment. I agree. She said, I disagree that there are systematic barriers often presented to Blacks, such as accessibility to education and generational wealth. That's true. So if you look at both sides, there's some truth to both. But this our history,
but to that, there's of course some truth to that. You'll never escape that because of how America was formed. However, would anybody disagree or agree that there's more Black kids in universities, HBCUs, and PWIs? There's more Black kids in universities than ever before. Would you agree or disagree to that?
I'll have to do my research.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you that there are.
I'm just a person like that. I don't
blame you. I don't blame you. I'm not gonna say something that
I don't know about.
Okay. Well, let me just say this to you. The key to getting out of poverty is education. Now, education does not necessarily mean Ohio State. It doesn't necessarily mean Cincinnati State. It could mean Parker's Trade School. I made that up. It could mean learning welding in high school and then going off and get a certificate. It's still a form of education, right?
That's true.
So the key of getting out of poverty is education. And if we as a group of people have more people educated now than ever before, then that's the key that we're working ourselves out of poverty. But the problem is, and I'm gonna say this to you, Tanika, I think and I believe that there are some people who truly want us to believe that we're the most impoverished, we're the most underclassed, and we're the most needy people in America. And unfortunately, it's not coming from them other people. It's coming from us, because it's us who need those arguments to be relevant and have something to do themselves. That's how they make their money. And if you don't believe me, all you got to do is look at how some of these people getting paid for saying what they say. They don't have a solution to the problem other than to talk about the problem all the time. They don't have any other way. They don't tell you about education. They don't do that. They might mention it, but to have an in-depth conversation, they'll sit back and tell you that white folks get rich off of the stock market, as if we don't have the opportunity to go into the stock market. So instead of saying only rich people get the stock advantages and all that, they'll bitch about that, but they won't ever host a class and say, hey, this is what we can do to get rich, like the people that we've been talking about all this time. Because there's nobody monitoring it and saying no blacks allowed. There's no signs up. You know what I'm saying? We can go in and do the same thing that they doing, but they rather bitch about what these folks been doing and how they getting rich instead of lining us up to getting them same advantages. See what I'm saying? They're meant to be they're supposed to be doing something different. And then what happens is when you challenge people like that, you look like the bad guy for telling that truth. Because what happens is this: now I'm insensitive. Now I'm not really looking at it for what it really is. Because I'm going against my own people, or I'm saying something that's just really insensitive. But you got people that will bitch and complain about how people are making money in the stock market as if it's not an option for us. It is an option for us. But what we have to do is open ourselves up for those options. That's all you got to do. Open yourself up for those options.
Yeah, and all you gotta do is, you want to invest in stock, get you a cell phone, get you the get you Cash App. It's easy, you know what I'm saying? But everybody doesn't have. I
told everybody, look, we're gonna do it. I got about 105 people in the stock club. Okay, the thing that I'm looking at now is I have Dan Whiteley. He's my attorney. I have him looking at some things about what I can and what I can't do, because I don't want to put myself in a position where somebody does something and there's liability there. That's the only reason why I've taken my time on it. Now, I don't think anybody's losing any money or making any money without me hitting the switch on the stock club. We got our people in there. I just want to make sure that I'm going to be able to do the things that I want to do. I don't want to have any liability in people's losses and gains. You know what I mean? Like I don't want them to hold me. I'm trying to do this without having people sign a waiver. I don't want to do that.
I get it. It's not yeah, because I've done it before. I think I had what's the other one? Robinhood as well. It wasn't too hard. Yeah. You just got to know what to invest in.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I just think that I think the only thing that I have a problem with is I hear, and I know I got nothing but love for you, sis, and everybody here, but I think where I get a little burned up or burned out with these conversations is I get tired of having conversations about us in a position of being the underdog and the dusty. I hate that, because I know how powerful and how strong and I know how smart we are. Here's the thing that I say all the time. Asians are not smarter than us. Europeans are not smarter than us. Latinos are not smarter than us. Some of those groups of people that I just mentioned start out before we do. You remember those neighborhoods I was telling you about that's noisy?
Mm-hmm.
Them same kids that start out late are in those noisy neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's making those neighborhoods noisy but us. You can't raise a child with all these distractions in their head and all this noise in the hood and think they're going to be raising up winning spelling bees with the Asian kids that are studying and going to the library. They don't worry about Cardi B and Sexy Reds. I just set the bar high, and unfortunately it may come off wrong to some people, Tanika, but that's the father in me.
Hey, look, the bar is super high over here. Look,
should be.
My daughter she's following, not so that she don't know your daughter, but I mean, it's admirable to see your. To see your daughter, because I can see my daughter there, because she's been adamant about being a doctor since she was 2, and now she's taking a biomed course, and she'll receive a certification once she graduates. So I'm just so excited, and I love how and I try to tell her, like, her freshman year, get into biomed because you can get your certification.
Absolutely.
And she's like, no, because she's into the art. She loves theater and marching band and chorus, and she's in all of that. But now she listened to me and she took it and she gets excited. Oh, we're doing blood pressure today. So I'm like, see, this is where you're supposed to be, girl.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I totally agree with you saying, but when it comes to our people, best believe, ain't no dusty crust. We are the greatest people on earth.
I keep telling
anything
that
you seen the video, we did it. They stole it. I'm sorry, they did.
They stole it.
And to be honest with you, they want to be around us because they know how great we are. We just don't know. Not all of us, but if our people knew how great we were, we are the best people on the planet. I'm sorry, can't nobody touch us. We the best at everything. Think about it. What do they do? We do even better. Even them Asian kids. We got some black kids who could top them Asian kids. Don't look.
Oh, man,
don't play with our people. We are amazing. I love our people.
Come on, sis. Listen, I just seen 60 Minutes the other day. Once again, I watched it because it was a rerun of the 2 little black girls that live in New Orleans that did this math problem. They solved the math problem that no one could solve. And it's been 115 years and no one could solve the problem. And these two little black girls at a private school in New Orleans solved the problem. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, listen, when you got people in your life that keep all that noise down, kids can concentrate. Do you feel me?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You feeling me? And when the noise turns into positivity, when the noise turns into, you want to be a doctor? Shit, let me show you. Let me keep you focused on what you need to be doing. I wasn't a helicopter dad. My girls played sports. They did all that. While you were talking, Tanika, I put my babies up because you said your daughter wanted to be a doctor ever since she was a baby or a little girl. And I put my pictures up of my two daughters who are now in medical school. You see what I'm saying? And I'm telling you,
they're beautiful.
Thank you, baby. You have to find what your children are good at. Okay. And you have to find their niches and the things that keep them distracted from other things. And once you do that, we'll be surprised on, you see what I'm saying? We'll be shocked at what these kids, because these kids gonna do way more than us.
Oh, yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? They're going to do way more than us. And
Wyatt, at this point, my daughter has surpassed me. Like, I've always wanted her to be better than me. Like, all the stuff she's in, you know, the confidence it takes to be in marching band, and she's about to be in a play, and she's doing chorus. You know, she turns 15 tomorrow, and she was like, Mom, can you schedule my, because they could get their temps.
Yeah.
And she's like, can you schedule my temps? I'm like, girl, I got to work around your schedule to schedule your temps because she's so busy.
Yeah.
And she's that good busy. I love it. I love that she's focused and she's making straight A's doing all of that. I'm telling you, this child is
right. Here,
my heart.
Can I read this one? This is from my girl Deanna. I don't know if Deanna, you know I got love for you, sis. I don't know.
That's true, Dana. Dana is true. That's Dana. That's true.
I don't know if I agree with that because there's some truth there. But I think we should ignore whatever they're doing. Feel me? Look at this. It says, if we weren't so powerful, they wouldn't work so hard to oppress us. Look, and I agree with you. Okay, I do agree. Now that I think about it, I read it slow. Here's what I think, though. I think we do enough damage to ourselves that we keep ourselves in an oppressed situation. Because if we were to have Chinatown, I've had this conversation a million times. You don't need, there's $3 trillion a year floating around in the black community. You don't need, Asians don't necessarily, occasionally you see some black folks and some white folks and some Latinos sitting in an Asian restaurant in Asian town, in California or up in Greek town or in Detroit. Their primary customer is their own. They are not even half the population that we are. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? We're 17%. Mm-hmm. What's the Asian percentage? 5? If they're able to function and maneuver in this country self-sufficiently, why can't we? We 3 times their population. If you look at Latinos, Latinos have doubled us. And if you go to New York, if you go to anywhere here in Florida, Tanika, you know this. If you go to most of the cities in Florida, there's a ton of Latino businesses no matter where you go. You damn near got to speak Spanish down here.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
I was in culture shock when I moved. That's a way.
That's what I'm saying. So why is it that we can't? Why don't we have a state or a city like Latinos do in America?
That's $1 million question, Wyatt.
Because
if you got the answer, you're gonna be actually that's $1 billion.
I do have the answer, but it takes the level. It takes us to be cautious. We gotta understand what's really going on. We gotta understand that nobody's stopping us from doing it. It's not being done because of one of two reasons. One reason would be because we just don't see it that way. The other reason could be that y'all ain't gonna like this one, okay? If you show efficiency as a people, you have people in place that will tell us we wrong, and it ain't us. It's not us. It's not them. It's us. You have people who will find something wrong with what we're trying to do. These are plants. These are chaos agents. These are people that will say, look, let me back up a little bit so it'll make sense, because I don't know how to tell you in 2025. I can only tell you in 1920. How could we as a people, do you think it's better now in 2025, Tanika, than it was in 2000 and than it was in 1920 for Black folks? What time do you think is a little bit better, 2025 or 1920? Now. So how could we in 1920 be more efficient in business and self-sufficient in business than we are in 2025? How is that possible?
So technology?
No. There was no technology in 1920.
Oh, you said 19. I'm sorry. I heard you backwards. I'm sorry.
Okay, no. In 1920, we were more self-sufficient. We had our own neighborhoods. We had our own trains. We had our own automobiles, mobile, sale places. Like we had car dealerships. We were more functional as a people, self-sufficient as a people in 1920. A lot of people like to bring up Black Wall Street. You see what I'm saying?
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Look, if they knew that was, if they had known that was coming, you think they would still do it? And that's my thoughts when I think about now. If we did that, they would destroy it.
Well,
because they benefit off of our Black dollars.
Well, here's what I think. I think you're right about that. I don't know if they would destroy it, because here's the thing. If we don't allow them to destroy it, I believe we in 2025, and I think the only thing that can destroy us is us. I mean, who's doing that? Who's okay? Think about it, Tanika. I mean, I know you got to go, but I just want you to think about this. What I'm gonna say: 523 deaths of Chicago kids and young fellas, young women and men, and 90% of them are Black. And if you think about it, it's only normal that most Black people that die, they die by the hands of Black people. Most white people that die, they die by the hands of white people. Most Asians that die. So when you look at it for what it really is, we're hurting each other more than anybody's hurting us when it comes down to stopping us from doing anything, because we interject. We deal with each other more than anybody deal with us. We deal with each other. Like nobody's stopping you from selling 15 cakes today if 15 people from Wyatt Live ordered cakes today.
I know that would be a blessing if y'all did now.
But that would be self-sufficiency. That would be us supporting, because like my daughter has a graduation coming up, or we got a birthday party next Friday. Instead of going to Kroger, why not order from you? Because guess what? There are a group of people that think that way. There's groups of people that understand that rotating dollars amongst each other is very important. And then there's a group of people that think that the more money I spend with somebody else, the more successful I am. The more that I can show them that I have money, the more they're going to think I'm different than them other people. And them people that look like us. And to be honest with you, there's also a group of people who want to convince us every day how tough it is to be here. So let me just say this to you. If my mother was to, if I had a goal of making $100 a week from my grass cutting company, and I came up $30 short every week, but my mother gave it to me. Now I got 100. I made 70 on my own. My mother gonna give me $30 of it. At a certain point, week after week, month after month, I'm not even trying to get the 100 anymore. Matter of fact, I might start making 50, because then my mother might give me the other 50. So now all the motivation of getting 100 on my own is all gone, because somebody's willing to give it to me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like we gotta stay. Here's what I would suggest to most people. I've never been on a salary in my life. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm talking about as a professional out on my own. I've never had a salary job. And what I mean by that is I've lived my entire, I was talking to my wife about this yesterday. I lived my entire life, all these years, performance-based pay. It's like a real estate agent. It's like anybody that's basically paid on performance. Those are generally the people in this country that make the most money. Performance-based. You're going to make more money if you focus business, right? But yet say at Publix. Okay, in Orlando, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have Publix. So say you work in the bakery at Publix. Now you're gonna make a salary at Publix for baking cakes and doing cupcakes there. But I bet you $1 to a donut, you'll make more money if you give your 8 hours to yourself, sell your own cakes, and become performance-based pay. You'll make more money in the long run than you would have made at Publix baking cakes.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of the motivation. You might not make $500 a week like you was making at the Publix. You might only be making $100 a week. But guess what happens time after time in the consistency that you put in, sis? You'll oversee that $500 a week 4 times fold. I promise.
Absolutely.
And what happens is if I come in there and you're making these cakes at Publix, and I'm kind of hindering you, I'm slowing you down from you doing your thing, I'm not a benefit to you. And we got people that look like us that don't motivate us to be self-sufficient. They want us to be dependent. And guess who makes the money when we're dependent on someone else? Not only the someone else, but the person that also kept you relaxed and being a dependent of those people. Pay attention, sis. Pay attention to the people that you think really fighting for us and battling for us, especially if they getting paid.
Yeah, that's why you got to battle for yourself.
None but love, Tanika. You got anything else?
Yeah. Thank you for the conversation. But I just want to say, I want to say something that Shaba said, and I don't see his comments because I blocked him. But
okay, Shaba's
that's petty. Yeah. Okay. He asked me, I wanted to call her submissive to her husband. Sir, don't worry about my husband. And the answer is yes, I am.
Okay. I didn't see a comment. I didn't know.
It was a while ago, but it was I had it on I wrote my little note down to address that.
Okay. Well, I think he heard it because I just seen a comment. He says, he said something today to Denise Davis, Navy Federal. So he's on here. He's listening. I hope he heard you.
Yeah, mind your business, Shaba.
She's married, bro. She's married. All right.
Yeah, nothing but love for you. Vernon said that the talks about cakes got him hungry. Well, I dropped my link.
Order one, bro. Order. Go to say your website real fast.
My website is dianscakes.bigbartel.com. And by the way, my cakes are better than Publix. And Publix has some really good cakes, but I have less ingredients than Publix to do.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey.
What I'm saying, because when they fresh, you don't have all those, all preservatives and things.
I got you. Well, I hope you take off. Make sure, if you get a second, type it into the screen, okay? Because some people can't hear. Just type it in the screen. Put your website in the screen.
I will.
All right. Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you, Wyatt. Appreciate it.
Soon. All right. Bye-bye. I love her cakes, Dana said. I love her cakes. Well, that's good. It has been a long one. I'd rather have these type of conversations. I really rather have these type of conversations than those other conversations. I'm gonna take one last call. I was about to crash up out of here. I was about to get up out of here, but I'm gonna take one last call before we get out of here today. We'll continue tomorrow with our Wyatt Live conversation. I want to thank everybody who came in today. It's been a long one. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go to the phone again, and then we'll get up out of here. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
What's up, fam?
Twin, what's good, bro?
Say the best for last. Yep.
Okay, I didn't know it was you. You must be calling from a different number.
Yeah.
You sure this Twin?
Yeah, it's Twin, man. Who else is gonna be?
Okay, there it is. Now you sound like Twin.
I had to charge my phone up and everything.
Okay.
It was a great show today.
Well, thank you, bro.
Tanika, Ron, CK, and
I don't know about CK. That conversation was a little rocky.
No, man, because let me start this off.
Well, you heard what he said, right?
Yeah, I'm about to start it off.
Okay.
Man. I celebrate my mama. She would have been 81 Friday.
Okay. And this Friday coming up?
Well, Saturday just passed.
Okay.
She would have been 81, and I had a good time around my you know, my brother and sisters and everything.
Okay, that's good.
A couple of them stay here, and you know, we party and everything and talk, reminisce about the old days.
That's good. That's
but
good.
It was a good vibe though and everything. But then second, you know, I had hit a lick on products and stuff for the homeless and the less fortunate. And I went around the city of Cincinnati. You know, you need some washing powder or.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You hit a lick
I
where?
put it in the chat. Huh?
You hit a lick, bro. You hit a lick, or you just happen to come by?
You know, people. Hey, they come with merch and they, hey, you need. Hey, I got this for you. I got soap for you. I got this. Oh, I need that.
Okay.
So I took it and stuff, and you know, the less fortunate that's out here, man, that ain't got nothing.
Okay.
Because you know, I take my time out at the churches and volunteer, and I put it in your wildlife.
Okay.
And I volunteer, help out, and you know, pass out, you know, hygiene. They had a cookout at the church and everything. That's what I'm about on a positive note, man. It's about the blessing of giving, man. It's better to give than receive, because your blessing gonna come regardless of anything, man.
Okay.
And they ain't got to be a form of money all the time. Your blessing can be a form of, hey, you need your kids to go to school, or you need that bill paid, or you need health issues or something like that. Ain't got to always be the form of money, but, you know, God always go provide. You shall ask, you shall seek, man. Just ask what you want.
Okay.
Doors open 24/7. Let's talk about your Ohio State. It was a good game. Okay. It was a good game. It was all about defense, I saw.
It was a defensive game.
Yeah, because I'm looking for a blowout. I'm looking for Ohio to put up 40-2 or something, 40-7. But, you know, it was a good game, and I thought I went against Ohio, I think, when I was betting. I thought Texas was going to pull it out, because I don't think there's a chance of hell that quarterback you got saying he trash to me. Okay. I hate to say it, and you got a top receiver, Smith, and the top performer, he wasn't throwing him the ball. He was out wide open like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
They could have took flight, but, you know, it was a good game. And why did they ain't storm the field, did they?
Nah, I don't think so. Not that
I
was
seen. Watching.
I mean, I was there. I was trying to get out the traffic.
Because they was ranking number 1, right?
Yeah, Texas was.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I saw Alabama and Florida State. They stormed the field, and they fined them $50,000 under the new rules.
Yeah, but that was an underdog win. That was an unranked team
in what, 20 years maybe?
Yeah, 15? And that's an unranked team beating a top 10 team.
Yeah.
Or
and
top 25
I was
team.
looking at it, I'm like, oh man, Alabama in trouble. Hey, you say Grambling coming to Ohio State?
Yeah.
Is they gonna have a battle of the band, man?
No. They do that when it's
classic, man.
Yeah. You must not have heard the show. I used to go to the Bayou's Classics all the time in Louisiana.
Jackson State and Grambling, man. When I stayed in Mississippi. No,
well, that's in Mississippi. I used to go to the one in Louisiana, and it was the Battle of the Bands. It was Grambling and Southern all the time.
Yeah, but I ain't know they came to what was that? The Tupelo? I think it was Tupelo. One of them. When Jackson State Coliseum, they came there. I saw them in Grambling going at the marching band. I was like, man, they off the chain. That was my first time seeing something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, well, it was been a great show, and when I say married to the government, man, that's what you call married to the government, man. You know, it takes Wyatt. It takes Wyatt. Hey, I don't need you and all that. I don't need your help no more. I got the government and all that help me. I get these food stamps. I get this child support. That's called marrying to the system, man. Oh, well, hell with you and you don't need my assist and all that. You don't need my help. You let the government take care. That's called married to the system.
Right.
Not in case you took it as, I don't like that and all that, but that's called married to the system. And so back then, what you was buying? $10, $20 for what? $80 worth of food stamp back then? Oh, now it's a problem when I sell my food stamp, but back then you could buy food stamp. It was crazy how it is now.
You do know that's illegal.
And what they was doing it back then, though, Wyatt?
Yeah, but it was illegal back then.
Why come it when the government was passing out under the counter? How was it illegal?
The government was doing what?
When the government was all into it, you go up in there and they pass it underneath you get a book of food stamps. Say you get 50, hey, they give you 300 for 50 back then.
Where at?
Man, come on, man. That's how the system was playing.
You mean at the welfare office? At the food stamp office?
Man, when you go get them book of food stamps, you pay for what you get, 50 probably for 100 or 200, something like that.
That's what they did on the street. That wasn't the system. No,
I'm gonna show you the documentary of it. I'm gonna show you the documentary. You go congratulate me later on for talking about it.
Okay.
And you gotta know the system and how it was. They do that now because they want y'all keeping on. Just try to buffer y'all about the situation. Hey, Wyatt, they talked about the Olympics coming here. They talked about it. Ron was right.
Listen,
and
man.
Commissioner Reese mentioned on Lincoln Ware before.
Okay.
About the Olympics coming here. But let me tell you, like you say, it's got to be infrastructure and everything to build around.
Man, y'all try getting a damn McDonald's in downtown before you try to get an Olympics.
That's sad, Wyatt. That's sad. You got
I ain't been in
people,
not one large metropolitan city in the world.
You got million people go downtown, work downtown. Y'all ain't got a Dunkin' Donuts down there, I don't think. Maybe a Starbucks, probably.
Man, what metropolitan city in this country don't have a McDonald's? I'm talking about metropolitan
right,
big
especially
city.
Downtown.
Fuck out of here with that.
Man,
Olympics.
It's crazy though.
Man, that's some shit I don't understand. I don't care what they talk about until they put something in motion that says this is what we're doing. This is what we're voting on. This is what we're doing to prepare ourselves. They ain't doing nothing but talking. They've been talking about a stadium and a new place to do. They can't even get an NCAA tournament game here unless it's a conference game that UC is playing in.
And that's sad. Which stadium hold the most people? Probably the Bengals Stadium, hold the most audience, whatever.
The Bengals Stadium is the largest. Yeah, the Bengals Stadium is the largest, I would think, downtown. I mean, the Red Stadium might hold 25, 30,000, maybe. It's a baseball stadium.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, like, you building that new Coliseum down there or whatever. The convention center. I'm saying the convention center.
Oh.
My bad. The convention center. Hey, they can host us there. It's going to be wide open enough to host a lot of people.
I guess everybody think that's like some power move that you're replacing your convention center that's damn near 100 years old.
I'm saying if they was thinking my thinking, I would have probably, built something that'll bring a lot of revenue to host the NCAA tournament, NCAA tournament or whatever. I would have built something to bring to Cincinnati because, man, y'all got all them 50,000 bars down there, but y'all ain't got no clothing outlet or none of that to shop at. Y'all got bars somebody get drunk at and start brawl fight and all that, but y'all ain't got no clothing outlet. And if, like you said earlier, if they take the Bengals and Reds out, that's a ghost town, man.
Well, Twin, it says a lot about a city that needs entertainment like bars more so than look, it doesn't. I hate to say this, especially for my bar owners and people that they're going to think I'm being rude and nasty. I'm coming from an entrepreneurial spirit point of view, and I just want to know, I'm telling you guys this, and I'm saying this with all good faith, and I don't mean any disrespect. But when you live off of bar money, or when bars are your primary tax base, it shows a lack of I don't know. I'm going to say this as nicely as I possibly can. It's not that hard to run a bar, okay? It's not the hardest thing in the world to do. It says a lot about your leadership when bars are leading your economic base. It shouldn't be bars. It shouldn't be festivals. The Jazz Festival should not be the largest draw in the city of Cincinnati for Black folks when it comes down to economics, especially when you don't even own it. Do you know how ridiculous it sounds that in the Black community in Cincinnati, the largest draw we have in the city of Cincinnati that's Black is not even owned by Black folks? Do you know how that sounds? Right.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. You're bringing in all this money for someone else, and not only are you bringing it in from someone else, everything around it makes the majority of the money as well. The hotels, the concessions, you know, all the tax base go to the city, but it doesn't really go into the pockets of the people that live there. Everybody come there to make money, and then they leave. The artists make money, the hotels make the money. The people come in that are black from Chicago, they drop their money off, and they give it all to people that don't even look like us. Unless you got some lady out there cooking ribs and some sweet potatoes and shit, that's the only way we making money. If Tanika brought her cakes down to Cincinnati and set up a booth at the Jazz Festival and boxed up some cakes, that's the only way she would be able to make money. But there's no other way of making money other than setting up a tent. We have no economic base there. And that's your largest black function that comes to the city. And what's happening now, and you'll be able to take this to somebody that's listening or pretending not to listen. The only reason why the black community feel like that, and I don't think that the Duke energy is a bad thing, but I think that that seems to be the biggest thing for the black community, which we don't own. But I think the reason why they think that's going to be the biggest thing that's happening in the city is because it's big enough to hold black conventions. It's big enough to bring in the NAACP. It's big enough to have, you know, black conventions and things of that nature. And that's where we are as a people. We think that's small. We don't think about owning a third of the city downtown and making it a district. We don't think like that. We think about the people coming in and dropping money, and we look productive because our people came in and wore all white or all black, and we dropped hundreds of millions of dollars into Cincinnati, and we dropped it into black folks that don't even own it.
Right.
Sorry, I just don't think like that. I just told Tanika that I'm the type of individual that I believe on getting paid on merit. I believe that I'm the type of person that wants to get paid, not necessarily commission. You see what I'm saying? But I'm productive based. I'm a performance based paid individual. And when you just sitting back watching everybody get the lion's portion of the money, and you're condensed that way, like you're put together that way, unfortunately, you raise everybody else to be that way as well. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, my city, Chicago. Born and raised Southside Inglewood.
Okay. That's where them suckers be at.
Huh?
That's where them suckers be at.
What sucker?
I'm just playing, twin. I'm just fucking with you. I'm trying to have a good time.
I caught your drift. I just wanted to go say explain yourself, but
you know, you mess with me sometimes, so I had to slide one in on you.
I caught it, man. I caught it.
I'm just messing with you, man.
You know, I'll go crash out.
I know. I just
let me hold my peace.
But go ahead, man. We hear
real
you.
talk. It's all game, man. It's all game. Hey, look. Yeah, I was born and raised, man. Inglewood, Southside.
Okay.
Man. It's Chicago safe, man. Man, crime and killing somebody ain't got no time limit on it, man.
Chicago is not safe.
It's your time. It's your time.
Chicago is not safe, bro.
I'm saying, I don't care where you go. Why you can go to Timbuktu in the country of Indiana or somewhere, man.
And you can be a victim of crime.
Get it, man.
Yeah, but you know what, twin? You already know when you're looking at 580 something murders in a year, it may not be certain. Look, not all places in Chicago are bad. We didn't have that conversation.
That's my point I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
I mean, you can go because when I go to Chicago, why I got people in Chicago, Chicago and Indiana, Gary, my sister now, and my brother's still saying Chicago. Well, my other family too, but. When I come in, hey, what's up with Gary? And I'm going 21st Street over there close to Michael Jackson's crib. They was shooting over there. Hey, what's on 71st in Chicago? What's on 69? Hey, they shooting over there. Hey, I'm about to go on 87. Give me the Sharks right quick. Hey, don't go over there. They in war. Man, I check in, because I don't want to be in there caught up in that jam. So I check in. Certain part of me, Chicago, all right. Cincinnati, all right. But certain areas I probably won't go in. I ain't gonna go on the west side of Price Hill on certain street because I know how they get out on that street. I'm not gonna go on Avondale because I know how they get out on A1, Evanston. I know how they get in. Why would I invite myself into somewhere I know self-destruct when I know it's about to go down?
Okay.
They about to crash out over here. So I know and I think ahead like, hey, I'm safe. I'm not going to go down in that downtown. Yeah, I'll go downtown. Because I know it's safe. But I'm not going to go really, I know where they say it's bad at and all that. I know my surroundings and I know what time to move. Hey, I'm not going to go in there at 11 o'clock, 12, because I know they be about to crash out at 1 o'clock.
Okay. Somebody
going to come out that bar or that juke joint and stuff clowning. So it's a time frame and you know where to go at. So Cincinnati, all right, man. People saying it ain't safe like that. It's all right. It's just know when to move, man. It's your move. And then you mentioned earlier about action and stuff in a relationship. Okay. It ain't about your actions, Wyatt. It's about your emotions. It's how you feel about the situation.
Okay.
There been plenty of times I've been kicked out of a female's crib. I said, okay, I ain't got to listen to your standards or whatever. You know how it was, and I approached it, and I told you, this ain't no secret how it was. So get out. Go with your sister out. Go over there. Go. Oh, don't worry about it. And I got tired of it. I got my own crib. Now, hey, twin, what you doing? Nothing. Hey, can I come over? Yeah, you can come over. Cook and all that for me. Oh, I don't feel like going home. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll take you home. Oh, you just go kick me out? Hey, you used to do me like that, right? You used to do me like that, right? But, you must have had another girl come. No, it ain't about that. I want my peace and quiet. Regardless who come to my house and stuff, you the same female that used to do me like that.
Yeah.
And there ain't no love, but, and then I get constantly, I'm on top, and I got to have a female love, and I just can't be quiet, meditate about twin and everything. It's always got to be a female. I mean, come on, man. You the same one that say get out and stuff, go over your bags on the front porch. Oh, why you this? Let me see you who in your phone. And come on, I don't go through your phone. Come on, respect. I told you how I was in the door. I used to play childish games and everything, but hey, I'm mature now, man. I don't play them games no more. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a hoe. I do this and I do that. But you ain't got to stop me. Hey, I told you in the door when I came in here what I'm about. And you get mad. Ain't no feeling. Then you say no feelings attached and all that. You the same one that told me that.
Yeah. Hey, let me respond something real fast to Ron Dula. Here we go with this old bullshit, Ron. Ron said this, man. I am really tired. I'm tired. I'll be honest.
No, it's overtime, man.
I know, bro. I'm trying to put this work in. I'm trying to put this work in with y'all. But look, Ron says we can't own a third of the city because white folks ain't selling a third of the city. You don't have to own.
Yeah, own nothing. Get it out the mud.
Well,
it's about putting that work in. You ain't got it, man. That's the one thing you don't depend on is man. Only one you can depend on is God. Don't depend on man. Because no, it's like a disease to me. Okay, you told me no. I'm about to pray about this situation. I'm about to take flight. God said, go do it. Go get it. Faith is without work is dead, Wyatt.
I agree.
You got to put your trust and faith in God. Forget what man's telling you.
I agree.
That's our problem now. We depend on man. We got to depend on ourselves. It's about self-control. And us as people, like Tanika said, it's about us. Don't worry about what them hunkies doing. They ain't coming in our neighborhood killing our youngsters, man. It's our own self doing it to ourselves.
I agree.
And we got to take heat and accountability to build our youngsters up. No, you're not going to do this fine. You're not going to sell that dope. You ain't going to go out here and catch nobody for what? At the end of the day, then what, player? You 6 feet deep or you up there, hey, mama, send me a kite, mama. I'm low on the books, mama. Send me a noodle, baby. I'm low. Come on.
All right.
Come on, baby.
I got
Wake up.
I'm up. Let me just say this to Ron real
fast.
I
ain't talking about you. I'm talking about in general.
No. I get you. I'm just saying. Let me just say this to Ron because I don't know if he was really for real or not because I seen him. He's probably laughing at my reaction about something. I don't know. But let me just say this to you, Ron. And I've said it before years ago, right here on the same platform, and I stick with it. I'm very consistent in what I say. I'm gonna just say that, for instance, 3CDC owns a huge part of downtown Cincinnati. But what 3CDC can't stop us from being is a brand. Okay. You can rent a place from 3CDC where they bought it for $1 and then they put $400,000 into this particular space. And you can build your book of business out of that unit. In other words, you can start a business right there. I don't even recommend people. Some people are going to say this is wrong. It all depends on how you see things in business. I don't believe that you should buy a building unless you can steal the building in the deal or something. I don't think you start a business by buying the building. It's a great move if you're in financial position to do so. You can never lose by buying a building, right? However, the difference between owning a building and not owning the building should not play a part in if you're going to open a business or not. You can start a business in downtown Cincinnati. We can call it the Black Beer Lot, Black Business. I don't want to call it the Black Beer Lot. Y'all know that old name. But you can call it the Black Business District or whatever, the BBD. You can call it any of that. And you can rent out 50 units, not you, but we as people. We can rent out 50. We're building a book of business. You build leverage when you're a destination. It's like Kings Island and all the rest of these companies that built something by being a destination. Okay? That's what we need to do. You have to be able to be something that people want. So Tanika comes to Cincinnati and says, I'm going to build my cake business and I'm going to headquarter it downtown Cincinnati on 4th Street, right next to 3 other businesses. Okay? And these businesses work in unison, piggyback off one another. We don't own any of these units. However, we're becoming our own district. So when Ron says something about they won't let us because they not selling, that ain't got nothing to do with what the move is. And here's the thing. Once you build your book of business, people will find you. Tanika been there 5 years. She's been renting 5 years. They don't want to sell her the business. So now what she's going to do is she's going to move over on Vine Street in a building that she just bought. And it's not going to slow her business down whatsoever. People will come to you because now you have established a book of business. Your customers will go where you are. The only time that don't work is when you're a nightclub. The business that has the worst history of ever moving and your base not following you is nightclubs and bars. Don't ever do that in that business. That location is the key for bars and clubs. That's why it's such a bad business. It's a hit or miss. And that's why I tell you, it don't take much to do them. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I know some guys that own them and been in them, but they're not the hardest thing to do. And when cities focus on those type of businesses, let me be honest with you and tell you, they're not looking for them to last. And when your tax base is off of bars and restaurants and stuff like that, the city's not looking for you to last. They don't think you're going to be there long. You just kind of like a purpose. You're serving a purpose, a destination, somewhere where they can be. And, they can control you with the liquor board and all this old stuff. And if you're not here, somebody else will come in and do a type of business. Tanika is she is a specialty unit. She's a specialty item or product. Not anybody can move into that same space and make cakes like she can. So knowing that, you might start out in a rental for 5 years. After 5 years, if things aren't going right and they don't want to sell you the space or sell you the business, then you move somewhere that you can now do all of that. And you take your business with you. You take your clientele with you. We got to get out of this mindset of we can't do nothing because they won't let us. And then we got to be able to make audibles in those time frames. I was making a point with Tanika a long time ago. You can't say that in 1920 it was easier to do business as Black folks as it is in 2025. Everything was against us in 1920. But we were more precise and we were more methodical in how we moved. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? How is it that racism, special, all this systematic racism and shit in these conducive times, how could you say we got more done then than we get done now? It doesn't even make sense. You didn't have bank financing. You had bank financings at the Black Wall Street, but guess who the banks were? Black folks. The government didn't come in and subsidize Black Wall Street in Tulsa. Those were black people who flipped money and spent money amongst each other. Oh my God, if y'all don't see, the problem is we don't talk about that enough. The people that want you to talk about it, they want you to talk about the destruction part. They don't want to talk about the construction part. They only want you to talk about the destruction part. The fact that it tore down, they burned it down. Them old evil ass white folks, they don't want us to have nothing.
Slavery still.
They don't want us to have nothing. Well, we did all that shit without them.
Right.
Come on now. And the people that's telling you and reminding you every day of the shit that's wrong and the systematic this and the problems this, and they don't want us to this, and the news showing us looking like that. Those are the people that's put in place to keep you focused on the used to be's.
Yep.
Them they ain't trying to make us no better right now. They trying to make us a victim, keep us a victim, and show you that you a victim, so you will have an attitude of a victim. They keep wanting to add that $30 to give you $100, so you won't go hard to get your own $100. Eventually, you'll stop trying to get that extra $30, and then it go down to $50, and they'll have to give you $50 more. Meanwhile, you missing out on $1,000 because you taking $50 subsidies from somebody that's getting long money for keeping you stagnant. I hate to say it, folks, but the easiest way to play people is to play them off themselves, play them off their own people. It don't even take white folks to slow you down no more. It take your own people. You will see a white man come in and tell you you can't do nothing. But what they send at you now is people that look like you and remind you that you ain't shit, so you'll now act like you ain't shit. They'll keep you subsidized, pay them money to make sure you get a little bit. See, it's always collateral damage in those big plays by people. Y'all know what I'm talking about? We'll pay one person $100,000 to keep 10 of y'all from making 100,000. I bet you didn't hear me. I bet you didn't hear me. We'll pay one of them that look like them 100,000. So we won't allow them to make 100,000 a piece, and it's 10 of them. Because once we get a 10 of them making 100,000 collaboratively, now they got $1 million worth of play. And as long as that one person making 100, we ain't got to worry about 10 of them having $1 million worth of play. And the one that's making the 100 is the one that's reminding you every day how fucked up it is, how to be distracted, how to be looking at this and this and this and that, and how I'm gonna help do this. I'm like, we're gonna help y'all do this. We're gonna help y'all do that. We're gonna help. You ain't helping shit. You helping it be the way it is. You want to help me be a customer. If you want to help me buy from me, if you want to help me bring me customers, send me customers, but don't get in my way talking about you helping me in ways that somebody's subsidizing what I'm doing. I don't need subsidies. I need customers. Subsidies are things that's put in place to keep you in a certain position. It's like anything else. When you're on welfare, they tell you what you can and what you can't spend your money on. When you get food stamps, they tell you what you can and what you can't spend your money on. When you get subsidized housing, they tell you how many people can live in your house and who can't live in there. And they tell you can paint the walls, you can't paint the walls. They tell you if you can have whatever. They control you. Subsidies lead for control. Fuck all that. Twin, get us up out of here, man. I gotta go.
It was a great conversation. I don't like that. Just listen to that slave mentality and being victimized, man. I don't like listening to that stuff no more. I got a call and stuff in a couple of days, and so set up some for the community, a certain community. I'll tell you about it later on.
Okay.
Doing speak or whatever. How and that's where my mindset and goal and stuff. And I gotta let it branch, man. Start from me and my past. If my past can work and motivate somebody else and lift somebody else up, or whoever been through the struggle of their past, I can sit down and talk to them. We can vibe off that to see what we can, unite together and bring other people in. Because I've been listening over the weekend to a lot of people, Wyatt. Good advice and stuff. And I said, what you think about this? What you think about that? And they was giving me input. People, when I walk my dog, I stop to, local community activists and College Hill.
Okay.
He's like, I'm such and such, I'm this person. I was like, okay. And I run into them and all that. And they say, man, you do this and do that. Come join our meeting. Here's a, give me a business card and, look me up and, see what you think. I said, okay, I will. I'll check you out or whatever.
Sounds
good. I have time. So,
Sounds good.
That's what I don't really tell people what I do, man. I just let them think for themselves. Okay, what you doing in the community? Okay. All right, man. You feel that way? Okay. And everything. But I don't too much, with the size of this podcast, and I'm totally different in these streets, man.
Well, that's good.
That's why I hear every community. I be going everywhere around Cincinnati and Indiana, Dayton, all over, man. I venture out and stuff. I like people, man. I like venting a little bit and all that. Get to know people and everything. Because, one day you here, the next day you gone, and people be like out of there. Why? It's like sad, like they going through some type of mental distress or something. But I'm here to uplift people, man.
Okay.
May not sound right or think I'm not, but hey, it is what it is. Only God can judge me, and that's how I look. But why? It's gonna be a good weekend, man. Football season start, man, and hey, I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Let me ask you, twin.
15-2,
Let me say it again.
15-2. Can I say that again?
Who? Who gonna be 15-2?
Hey, Wyatt. Man, I can prophesy, man.
Nah, who gonna be 15-2? What team?
Hey, the Bears, man.
Oh man, you starting that shit again? There you go again with that 15-2 shit. All right,
man,
bro.
You gotta have faith, man.
Well, listen, man, I'll be in Cleveland this weekend. I'm going to the Bengal-Cleveland game.
Oh, I'm supposed to go Friday to, I think my brother told me Indiana and Chicago, the Fever.
Okay.
So I'll probably wind up in Indianapolis this weekend. Ain't no telling.
Well, that's good.
But yeah, you say it's in Cleveland?
Yeah, I'm going up on Saturday.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, I'm going up Saturday. We're gonna go to the game on Sunday. Saturday, I'm gonna spend I'm gonna spend a little bit of time in Cleveland. Probably go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and do a few other things. I got a guy who lives up there, a friend of mine who was a school teacher, a principal up there, and we always go down to the Flats. If you guys ever been to if you ever been to Cleveland, to go down to the Flats. That's where all the restaurants and nice stuff, and there's a lot of stuff to do. Pins and all that is down there.
You talking about downtown?
Yeah, downtown Cleveland.
Yeah.
They have the
that state is kind of small, ain't it, man?
Yeah, but they have their little districts.
Going around them curves and all that.
Yeah, they have their districts though. I haven't been to the
But that's a nice ass stadium. I can't say that.
It is.
Cleveland Browns.
I haven't been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in a long time, so it's been a long time. I'm gonna
What's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? What is that?
It's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame up in Cleveland. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know what that is?
Of a lot of players and stuff that come out of Cleveland or something?
No. It's the music, rock and roll, like R&B, hip hop, rock and roll. It's like music Hall of Fame. You got to look it up on your phone, bro. You might want to get up there one time.
No, I've been up there when Golden State and I think Golden State beat them.
When you playing the Cavs?
I was there.
Okay. Yeah, but
I was there.
Yeah, you should get a chance. You should go up and look at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's pretty good. There's a few other things I'm gonna check out while I'm there on Saturday. But then Sunday, it's all about the Bengals. And I hope to be here on Monday. I'm coming back Monday morning. So I don't know if my flight, I had to check my flight and see what time I'm supposed to arrive back here at home.
Man, why don't you just drive up there, man? 4 hours won't hurt you.
Huh?
Come to Cincinnati, just drive up there.
Oh shit! I got to get a direct flight, bro. I don't like all. I mean, from St. Pete to Cleveland is 3 hours. It's like 2.5 hours, bro. Something like that. So I'm not about to fly to Cincinnati 2 hours and then drive 3 hours to Cleveland. That ain't about to happen. Shit, I ain't about to do that. All right, twin, I got to roll, man. I got to rock and roll. No pun intended. I got to get up out of here, man. I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, bro?
Okay, man.
Peace and love to you, man, and to the family. Thanks for engaging with us, twin. Hey, y'all, it's been a long day. I started out light. The thing went out and we came back and I tried to give you as much as I can give you, but I am so tired and I haven't gone to the restroom at all today, like since I've started the show. I am so tired. I really like to get back to a couple of things we were talking about yesterday. There's some things that I like to share. I didn't even play all my videos and all of that. So tomorrow, maybe we'll get back at it. Maybe part 2, part 3, or whatever. I don't know. I'm hoping I'll get an opportunity to talk to Alethea tomorrow. She said she'll call tomorrow. I can't wait to hear what she's talking about because I think I want to open up that can of what we were talking about with Fame earlier, with the why whose fault is it and all that old shit. I think I might be able to crack the Da Vinci Code on this problem. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I have the solution to the problem. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear the truth. But I'm going to tell you anyway. Peace and love to everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll have that conversation tomorrow right here on Wyatt Live at 1 o'clock. Peace and love to you.
If I could leave this place with a smile on my face,
the meek shall inherit the earth.
I give up everything.
That's what the Bible
just
says.
To make you happy. But we both know, this ain't how life goes. We could build our own world, but the streets keep calling me.
Walk like a giant, talk like a tyrant. Faith of a mustard seed destined for a triumph. David or Goliath, hate me or admire. Kush burn slow as I chase my desires. Embrace my empire. Bate boy, eat fire. Guns like choirs when they sing, keep quiet. Will I get to heaven? Turn to Psalm 27. Lord knows when I see this monkey, I'ma be the devil. Beat him cause I'm clever. Beat him at whatever. You never was a G, nigga. Unit mean together. New York unified. Down south love that. When we got to shine, motherfuckers, where the love at? Real niggas getting money, better log on. Think the game dead now, imagine when your dog gone. Imagine when it's all gone. When your phone off, it's only one to call on.
If I could leave this place,
if I died today, I could honestly say,
give up everything.
Thank
just
you,
to
Lord.
Make you happy.
Thank
but
you,
we
Lord.
Both know,
Thank
this
you,
ain't
Lord.
how life goes. We could build our own world, but the streets keep calling me.
I'm bigger than a title, bigger than a name. You can label we the biggest label in the game. Put food on the table, fed the whole city. Tell me who be the fool if the feds come get me. 30 years are better when you call a trendsetter. The world's so cold, hope you got a little sweater. Caught a little case, but he had a little cheddar. Played out the 15, poured his life in a letter. Very first line, he called Trick Daddy stupid. Say he got AIDS, telling people that it's lupus. Not the one just to jump to conclusions. I'm getting money, small talk could be a nuisance. Broke chains reminiscing to them nooses. Sitting on deuces, new Land Cruisers. Who the fuck you calling losers? You niggas losing, look like you could use us. When I bought my first Run DMC vinyl and my first 2-line crew cassette,
just to make you happy. But
I would've cried if I knew I would be where I'm at today. Took me 40 minutes to walk there to buy it. Call your boy a CEO, but if I really was, when all these niggas undercover fucking niggas up, keep it trill, a nigga never had a gun and badge. Kept a nice watch, smoking on 100 sack. Back in the day, I sold crack for some nice kicks. Skipping school, I saw my friend stab with an ice pick. Young nigga 15 with 3 C's. From that very day, I carried on the 3 C's. Can't criticize niggas trying to get jobs. Better get smart, young brother, live yours. Only live once, and I got 2 kids. And for me to feed them, I get 2 gigs. I shovel shit, I CEO, so we can bow our head and pray over the meatloaf. I'm looking at the big picture. Keep a bitch with you, trying to get a bit richer.
If I could leave this place with a smile on my face,
I remember praying
I
for
give up everything
me just to get the
make you happy.
opportunity to have a record deal.
This ain't how life
And now I sign artists.
We could build our own world, but the streets keep
Thank you.
calling